Yeah, I think with such a young side that they just want to bat first, so there's no pressure on when they're trying to chase later on, so they can just bat with a bit of freedom. And like I said, we were out there, had a look at the pitch, and it's an absolute belt of a pitch. It's got a beautiful covering of grass. It's really, really hard. So yeah, full credit to Keds. He's done a great job yet again.
Yeah, look, we saw it the other night in the BBL game and yesterday. A bit of a different kettle of fish to other pitches where it might have been a bit slower, but this one has got some pace and good carry through to the keeper.
Absolutely. I think he was a bit unlucky the other night with the pitch looked really good till it rained, and then it got a bit of juice into it, and then it became quite a nasty pitch to try and bat on. But this pitch looks like an absolute ripper.
So for the young Raiders, it's a big task today. Looking through the Glenorchy team, a bit of northern flavour there with Charlie Easto, former South Launceston player, James Bowen, former Launceston, Zach Towns, former Riverside, and a debut today, Brendan Copper, and Nathan Copper was a well-known, his father was a well-known cricketer here in Northern Tasmania.
Yeah, I played a lot with and against Nathan back in the old days, and he's a very, very handy middle-order hitter, I guess you could say. He's hit the ball quite a long way, and quite a quick, whippy left-arm medium pace, probably fast medium bowler when he was young.
Yeah, and young Brendan is making his debut, as I said. He's a middle-order batsman. What about making your debut on a venue such as this, hey?
Couldn't get much better, could you?
That's right.
It's a fair bit better than batting on some country ground with rough outfield or anything like that. This is superb, Eddie.
Absolutely, and welcome to the stream viewers on YouTube, and you can see a static picture at the moment of the pitch there, and the one to the left of that was the one used the other night in the BBL game. So this is a fresh pitch. It was used yesterday for the Raiders versus Clarence game as well. Further in the Glenorchy team, of course, the experience of Nathan Matthews. They rely a lot on him in the top order. And player I'm looking forward to seeing is David Moody. Of course, he's on the fringe of the Hurricane squad, and with the injury to James Faulkner at the moment, he'll be keen to put a case forward for maybe a game later in the tournament.
Absolutely. He's very tall. We just watched him warm up a minute ago, and he looks very, very whippy. Quite a fast arm action, so yeah, he should be able to generate a fair bit of pace off his deck. And
of course, players such as Farzan Raja is a player I'm also looking forward to seeing. He's a Tigers second 11 player, all-rounder, a spinner as well. So a lot of talent right through the Glenorchy team. And for the Raiders, a lot of young players, but Jake Williams-Fitzy made 60 not out yesterday, and his form is building through the year, so look forward to big things from him today.
Yeah, he's a class act, Jake. I've watched him grow up playing cricket from a very young kid, probably sort of 11, 12 years old. He was playing TCL cricket, and I watched him, and he's got a lot of ability. He's a very, very bright prospect. It depends whether he chooses cricket or football, because he's a very, very good footballer as well.
And his fellow opener there is Miles Barnard. Of course, he's a very talented sportsman as well. He plays with the Devonport Strikers in the Premier League soccer or round ball game here in Tassie, and he's a very credentialed soccer player as well, great sportsman. And he had a great knock against South Hobart Sandy Bay just before Christmas. Missed out yesterday, but these two, if they can get off to a quick start, it could set up a good total for the Raiders.
Absolutely. All they need to do early is just they've got two out, and the outfield's going to be lightning fast, so just punch the gaps, and the ball will travel really nicely over this outfield. They don't have to take any risks. Keep the ball on the ground, keep wickets in hand for later on in the innings.
Okay, so for our radio listeners, the Raiders are in their charcoal grey and orange top, charcoal grey trousers, orange top with the grey numbers, and of course being the Magpies, there's no surprises for guessing that the Glenorchy team own the black with the white numbers, and it's going to be David Moody who's going to take up the attack straight away. The number 77 on his back, 6'5" in the old language. I'm still in the old language there, Fitzy. I find it hard to do the old translations, but no, he's a tall player. Nice. 32 first-class games, and almost 100 wickets. He's moved over to Tassie for some opportunities. And as I said, with the injury to James Faulkner, they've picked Tom Rogers for the game against Perth tonight. But David Moody, if he can put in a good performance here, can certainly put his name forward.
Yep, absolutely. I would not be facing this Moody and also the Pakistani fellow that's playing for the Stars at the moment. It'd be quite a nasty opening bowling light, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, Harris Roof, of course, he was omitted for last night's game, the Derby, but he's well and truly with the squad at the moment over there, so not playing for Glenorchy today. About to get underway. This is City Park Radio 103.7, 96.5. It's Dave Moore and Andrew Fitz are your commentators. And I hope you enjoy watching the live stream this afternoon if you're doing that. Or sit back on your radio and have a listen as David Moody comes in. Right arm over. Miles Barnard, first ball, tries to cut lazily, no feet movement. And straight through to the keeper there in Graham Daft.
It's a really good carry there. That's come through. He's standing about 5 metres inside the 30-metre circle, and he's taking that chest height. So very, very good carry.
Certainly is. And we saw, of course, as you alluded to before, Fitzy, Riley Meredith the other night getting a fair bit of pace. And certainly, I think it was Coulter Nile also building up some pace for the Stars early on as well. So David Moody, number 77 for the Magpies, and he comes right arm over. This one's short. Once again, he wafts outside the off stump, doesn't make contact, and through to the keeper. And that's the difference of the T20 game, isn't it? If you're playing a longer form game, you're probably leaving both those balls to get a sider.
Yep.
But you can't afford to do that in this form of cricket. And just look at the field. It's pretty traditional, Fitzy. It's got the third man, 2 slips, fine leg. So a gap at mid-wicket if he pitches one up.
It's almost a 2-day field, isn't it, really? Except for there's no gully.
You can see on our live stream there the team selected today for Glenorchy. It's the next ball. It's outside off stump. It's out. Caught behind. Just dabbled with that one. Tried to run it down to third man. Caught the edge. And Graham Daft, the keeper, made no mistake. So it's an early blow for the Raiders in the third ball of the first over. And Fitzy, it was a bit of a nothing shot, really.
Yeah, but it was a good ball, though. It was in the corridor of uncertainty, as our friend Damien Fleming would say. It was just on the perfect line, perfect length, and he had to play at it, and unfortunately he got a little nibble through to the keeper.
Yeah, so a double, I hate to use the word failure, but he's missed out twice this weekend as Miles Barnard. He's a bit disappointed with himself as he trudges off. And coming in at number 3 is number 14, Oliver Wood. So Oliver plays with the Riverside Cricket Club when he's not playing with the Raiders. Also a talented footballer. He's played a bit with the Bridgenorth Footy Club.
Yep. Yeah, I've umpired young Ollie.
Yep. So he's coming up a bit higher than yesterday. And sometimes I think, and you played a bit of T20, Fitzy, sometimes you keep the order a little bit fluid depending on early wickets and that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what we do at Trevellyn too. You got your opener, and then you've got a sort of a floating opener that so someone can come in. It doesn't really matter who goes in. Then basically the whole top 5 can float either way.
Yep,
so
depending on,
and that's the same with most orders.
So Oliver Wood, it's 1 for none. Here comes David Moody. Into Wood. That one's outside the off stump, and a good solid defensive shot there from Wood just to start off his innings. So plenty of energy out there from the Magpies at the moment, and rightly so, taking that early wicket. Now, I mentioned a lot yesterday, Fitzy, the outfield we were out there is absolutely like a bowling green.
Superb.
It's been resurfaced since the footy season. In comes Moody this time to Wood, and it's outside off stump. He spars at it through to Graham Daft. So he's just running that perfect line at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Just every ball's been in the same spot. Just the first couple were just maybe a touch short, but these the last 3 have been beautiful balls, all in the same corridor.
So Moody, long run up. He's outside the restriction circle when he turns. Trots in, winds into his work now. Nice rhythmical run up. Bowls to Wood. Keeps a little bit low, but he keeps it out. Just plays it to point. That's the end of the first over. Don't often see it in a T20 game, but it's a wicket maiden and a great start for the Glenorchy Magpies. It's 1 for none after 1 over.
Yeah, it was just, like I said, a beautiful over. The Raiders boys really didn't have much of an idea about the first over, to be perfectly honest. He's got a lot of pace and nice carry through to the keeper, but hopefully they can get the pace of the wicket and maybe start pushing the balls in some gaps.
Yep, and just see if they open with spin at the other end. Let's look at the wicket keeper. That's not the case. He's standing back. And it'll be James Bowen, the ex-Launceston player who's been down south now for a few years. Been a regular opening bowler in all forms of the game for the Glenorchy Cricket Club. Ex-St Pat's player. So, the bowl left arm over to Jake Williams, who's yet to face a ball. An interesting field. We're 2 men out, Fitzy. We've got deep forward square leg, really, and a third man instead of a fine leg. Bowen to Williams. Oh, that's a good ball right in the block hole. Try to drive it through the offside. He's just indicating there that moved in the air. We look at the replay here as we can see it in a bit of delay. Yep, might have moved away from the bat a little bit.
Looked like it angled in with the arm and then cut off the seam,
Yeah,
so you don't cop that first up.
So James Bowen, shorter run up than Moody, well astride the restriction circle. For about 10 paces, in he comes now, and Williams lets this one go with a bit of a Labuschagne type flourish.
Yes, Smith and Labuschagne, they've got a lot to dance for, haven't they?
So early days here, but promising signs for Glenorchy. So Bowen going with one slip in place. His next delivery, he lets it go again a bit wider this time. And that's the effect of losing that early wicket, isn't it, Fitzy? You probably don't bat as freely as you might. If they'd taken 10 off the first over, I'm sure he would have had a lash at that, but the situation means that he's just got to be a bit more circumspect.
Yeah, just got to consolidate for 2 or 3 overs now. Make sure no more wickets fall. Try to get some momentum in the innings.
So Bowen into his 4th delivery now. Yet to concede a run. And this time Williams does nicely, just waits on it. Soft hands down to 3rd man, where the fielding's done by Umair Butt.
It's a nice little double down the 3rd man.
Yeah,
typical opening shot.
Yeah, Fitzhugh was great yesterday. When they were 6 for 40, the Raiders, he really had to change his style of game to more of playing the singles and playing the soft-handed shots.
Yep.
He hit a beautiful 6 off the last ball of the day. So Oliver Wood now on strike. 1 for 1 the Raiders in the 2nd over. So Bowen from the town end of TAS Stadium flashes at this as Wood doesn't make contact through to Ryan Graham Daft. So an interesting field position with the short cover.
Yeah, and very, very hard to drive a ball that's around about chest height. That was probably more of a cut shot you should have played there, young Ollie. Good carry through to the keeper once again.
Yeah, so the interesting field placement there, as it says, that short cover. There's also an extra cover, backward point, slip. As Bowen now comes in and outside the off stump, he goes for the big drive, does Oliver Wood, doesn't make contact. That's the end of the 2nd over. It's 1 for 1 after 2 overs, and the 2 opening bowls there showing the way.
Yeah, another excellent over once again. Got probably 4 player misses in the over, and just a little glide down the 3rd man. So we'll see how young I forgot his name. Jakey Williams goes against this big tall guy. Yeah, I'll worry about this because he's bowling with some pretty serious wheels at the moment.
Yep, so good challenge for Jake Williams, and I'm sure this is what it's all about for the Raiders, his experience against first-class bowling. And I mentioned that he's played 30-odd first-class games, has David Moody, as he approaches the crease now to bowl to Williams, who cuts and misses through to the keeper. So, notice yesterday was a greater carry at that far end than was at this end. Both ends were bouncing nicely, but I noticed yesterday Sam Rainbird in particular, and a couple of the quicker bowlers, did get some good bounce when bowling from this Invermay Park end.
Helps in 6'6" as well.
Yeah, true. That extra height. Nephew of Tom Moody is David Moody, and he comes now. Bowls to Williams, who plays a nice little shot on the offside. They go for a single. It'll be tight if it hits. It doesn't. They took on the throw. Wood makes it through. So a 2nd run there to Jake Williams. Looking here. Yeah, so it would have been probably out by looking at that, Fitzy, I think.
I thought it was a pretty good run. He's very deep there at point, and nice soft hands. So
yeah.
I mean, I think Ollie was backing up. I don't know. I reckon it would have been touch and go. But
often you do it. The side on throw. You've got to take it on sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean,
especially when you're 1 for 1.
Yep, that's right. 1 for 2 now off 2.2 overs. Wood back on strike to Moody. Moves in, and nice shot this time from Wood. Plays it down to 3rd man. They might double it up here. He turns now. He comes in. They make it fairly easy.
Great running.
And the fielder down there was Manpreet Singh. Down at 3rd man. Yeah, remember Tom Moody is obviously the height runs in the family. He was a tall, not overly quick bowler, but very accurate, good one-day player, hard-hitting batsman.
When you say he wasn't over quick, he bowled 130, and it's still sharp enough for a grade cricketer.
Yeah.
But obviously for Test cricket in one days is not quick for international. But
he's a fine player.
This bloke will be about 130, I reckon, just over.
David Moody. That's a short ball at the throat level. You just have to sway out of the way. Umpire puts up the one finger, indicate that's the one for the over.
Beautifully played by Oliver. Just drop the gloves, get his eye on it.
So plenty of chatter in the field in Glenorchy will be loving coming up here and playing in a stadium such as this. Great experience for all involved. Here comes Moody into Wood. This is right on the stumps. He plays it down the pitch. A little bit off balance. One ball left now in the third over. It's a matter, I think, of just seeing through this early onslaught and then trying to build from there.
Yeah, it's good. And he hasn't actually bowled a half volley yet, which is he's just banging the ball on the pitch, making sure he gets a little bit of movement either way and getting really nice carries through the keeper. So all they can really do is playing through backward point.
So last ball, as I said, of the third over, in comes David Moody to Ollie Wood. Ollie's beaten outside the off stump, and a lot of exasperation there from the players behind the wicket, but no contact made. End of the over. That's 3 overs down, 1 for 4, and once again some zip off the wicket there.
Some good carry, wasn't it? Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so 3 overs down. Of course, it's a bit difficult in this form of the game, Fitzy, to have too quiet a start.
Yeah, but this bowling's just quality at the moment. I mean, I'm not sure how they're going to play these guys. To be perfectly honest, they're not bowling any rubbish at all. Just everything's in the corridor, and they're using it looks like a quick pitch. I wouldn't say it's unplayable, but it's definitely got a bit of spice in it. And it's hard going for the lads.
And it's a tricky decision now for the captain, isn't it, to go the third over for both of them, or just keep a few in the bank? We'll get that in a second as James Bowen comes in to Jake Williams and lets it go outside the off stump. So a ball of a good length. So what do you think? Would you give David Moody another one now?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. If they're bowl another over like that and they're 1 for 5 or 5 overs, the game's basically done. Really.
Probably hearing our effects mic there. Sounds a bit like rain, but it's actually the grandstand roof. The metal in the roof expanding a little bit as the sun breaks through the clouds here at TAS Stadium. Perfect conditions for cricket. In comes Bowen again to Williams. Big wafty drive outside off stump. A foot down the wicket, didn't make contact. No run again. Put his head back in the air.
Kept it a little bit low, that one. Just skidded through a little bit.
What do you make of that short cover position? Fitz, I mentioned it before. Is that for that lofted drive off a shot such as that?
And that's because he's bowling outside the off stump. He's not bowling anything on the leg, so it's a perfect position for him.
Those watching the stream, it's probably just out of the picture at the moment. Is a short cover in position. Next one, keeps a bit lower this time, a bit wider. Taken there by Ryan Graham Daft pretty well.
Decked away, didn't it?
Yep. So there's some movement there. So tough going early on for these young Raiders batsmen.
It's a great experience for him, though.
Yep.
Posting this sort of bowl.
They lost a wicket early. If you just joined us, of Miles Barnard in the first over. He was caught by Graham Daft off the bowling of Moody as Bowen comes in this time to Williams. He advances. It's a wider ball. Umpires' arms are outstretched straight away. That was a much wider ball. Still had a bit of a lash at it, but it was well outside the wide line.
He saw him coming then and just tried to throw it out a little bit wider, but unfortunately he got a little bit too wide.
1 for 5 in the fourth over. James Bowen getting through his overs pretty quickly here at the moment. So you're going to dish up with this next ball. It's on the stumps and it's just beaten outside the off stump there. A bit of a half appeal from Graham Daft. But it looks like a bit of a jaff for that one. It pitched probably middle and leg and then just moved away beautifully.
Went across with the angle.
So encouraging signs here for all quick bowlers today. Of course, both teams have to bat on the pitch. But we're seeing some quality opening bowling here at the moment from Glenorchy. And they've played and missed numerous times of the Raiders batsmen. So Williams on 2, Wood on 2, 1 extra, 1 for 5. As Bowen comes into Williams, is on the stumps, the first loose ball, plays it down to the vacant fight leg position. 2 was the call straight away from Jake Williams, and they'll get 2 there. So the first time he's sort of straight on the legs there, James Bowen.
Well, it's probably the first half bad ball he's bowled.
Yep.
Everything else has been in that corridor. So, Jakey picked him off the pads. It was a lovely shot.
1 for 7 now, and Williams goes up to 4. Because he made 60 not out yesterday and a score of 8 for 104. Bowen into Williams again. This one's on the stumps and he defends to that short cover position. No run. End of 4 overs. It's 1 for 7. Williams on 4. Wood on 2. And you're right, Fitzy. Nathan Matthews agrees with you. He's going to give David Moody that 3rd over.
Well, it's foot in the throat time, isn't it, at the moment? So they may as well keep it going. I can't see him bowling any too many loose balls that get smashed all over the place. So,
got to admire David Moody's action, don't you? It's just that classical fast bowler action of a tall fast bowler. Very rhythmical, economical sort of action.
Yeah, he's got that nice big fast bowler. He's got a real fast arm action too.
So Moody, and he comes this time to Wood, who leans back, tries to cut, misses through the keeper.
Good
that extra bounce again.
Oh, good carry then.
Quite quick too, the umpire. The keeper who's nearly back on the field restriction circle, Graham Daft, he took that at hip height there. So Wood 2 off 10, Williams 4 off 12. The 2 men out in this power play at the moment, a 3rd man and fine leg. Orthodox field, as this one's just played on the offside, they go straight away with the hit and they'll make the single there. Good work as the fielding was done there by Brennan Copper on debut for Glenorchy. So run to Wood, 1 for 8.
That's what they have to do now. They've got to try and at least run some singles, put a bit of pressure on the field, make the bowlers try and do something a little bit different. But at the moment it's a little bit too easy for the Glenorchy fast bowlers.
So Jake Williams has a look to the leg side there because it's fairly vacant. There's sort of whitish mid-on, square leg and fine leg. Moody though bowling it off stump line at the moment. He does again, it's cut. It's beautifully cut there from Williams. Wide of the fieldsman down there in Manpreet Singh. And that's 4 runs for Jake Williams. He leant back on that cut shot, made good contact, cleared the infield and went away to the boundary for 4. That gets a bit of momentum going.
Use the pace of the ball. Just uppercut him over the top of point. Did him for 6 actually. With the pace of the ball, it was a beautiful shot.
Probably only went 10, 15 metres to the right of Manpreet Singh down there at 3rd man, but he had no chance of getting to it. It just flew to the boundary. David Moody in once again to Jake Williams. This one's right on the stumps. He plays in the covers. They go for a single. This might be close. And
great running.
Fieldsman there doesn't pick it up in Zach Towns, ex-Riverside player. So they get through for the run. So just turning the scoreboard over there again. 1 for 13 in the 5th over. Wood on 3. Williams now up to 9.
Much better over for the lads this time.
That boundary certainly kick-started things. He only lost the 1 wicket, and I think that's significant.
This is good captaincy. Just trying to block that single there, just button and run.
Yep. So probably just see on the stream there that the player moved from second slip to a short cover position to stop that single as Wood this time drives. Gets to point. Misfield there by young Copper. And it runs through to Manpreet Singh. And they get through for a single.
Captain wouldn't be happy with that.
And we mentioned yesterday, in fact, it might have been a no ball because I just saw the umpire at the striker's end do the circular free hit signal.
Yep. Front foot no ball.
Front foot no ball. So opportunity here for Williams.
Near guarantees to be a slower bouncer.
Let's see if you're right, Fitzy. As in comes Moody, and it's cut beautifully between point and cover. That grows out towards the boundary. That's a beautiful shot from Jake Williams. That's another 4. And he moves up to 13, and the score to 19.
Yeah, I think the guy with this experience would have probably bowled something a little bit different than just a normal on-pace ball to a free hit. Just the batsman can just clear the leg and just hit it anywhere he wants to.
He sort of cleared the front leg and he made good contact though. It's beautifully timed.
You often see in the big bash these days, if they bowl a front foot no ball, they'll bowl a slower bounce the next ball because it's harder to hit.
Moody now. Once again to Jake Williams, taps the bat on the ground, pull shot this time, gets it round, past the infield. There'll be a couple here as it's going out towards the boundary. And do they just get the 2 there? So a good over there for the Greater Northern Raiders. That's got things going. It's 5 overs gone, 1 for 21. We'll take a short break here on City Park Radio and back in just a moment.
Community Care Tasmania is your local not-for-profit home care service provider in Tasmania. We deliver a full range of home care services with care and empathy. Our friendly, professional and innovative staff will tailor care to your needs. Ring 6334 0990 or 1300 722 400 and speak to a local. Also, you can visit cct.org.au to find out more. At Community Care Tasmania, we put your care first. A sponsor of City Park Radio.
Welcome back to UTAS Stadium with Dave Moore and Andrew Fitz for Cricket Tasmania Premier League action. Greater Northern Raiders and Glenorchy. It's 1 for 21 after 5 overs. And James Bowen going to bowl his 3rd over. So they've gone with their 2 openers, 3 overs apiece up front, which is quite unusual. But given the amount of movement and tight bowling early on, understandable. As now Wood, big wafty drive. He's done that a few times now. He hasn't made contact. Does he try and hit those too hard, do you think, Fitzy?
He's trying to play too straight. There are probably more balls to cut. They're wide enough to cut. He's just trying to play them on the up through the covers, and he's only just going to hit straight to that short cover if he does hit it.
It's I saw the late cut employed a few times yesterday with the pacey wicket and the quick outfield. And then a couple of times it actually escaped the third man fieldsman too and went for 4. Jimmy Bowen, this time to Wood. He's gone downtown, this time over mid-on. He's made good contact. It's going to bounce once, twice, and it's over the line. So 4 runs there to Oliver Wood. Saw the one pitched up and hit it with good contact, of course, during the power play. Last over of the power play. And there was no one on the boundary, so lovely shot by Oliver Wood.
Class shot, that. Beautifully hit. Hit straight, which is the way you want to try and hit a cricket ball, especially if it's on the pads or on the stumps. If you hit across the line, you're a chance for LBW, so play straight. And he hit it over the top, he hit it beautifully.
So all of a sudden, the run rate getting a bit of a wriggle along. Bowen to Wood. Plays this one soft hands. That's what you were asking for, Fitzy. Gets it there and it's fielded by Charlie Eastoe. That's the 1 run.
That's much better. He just dropped it at his feet instead of trying to flash it through the covers. Drop your feet, rotate to strike. Especially if Jake to hit the ball away at the moment.
So Williams 15, Wood 9. Bowen in his 3rd over, none for 9. Moody 3 overs, 1 for 17. James Bowen, this time to Williams, who plays it round the corner, the short fine leg, shy at the stumps. He was pretty safely home, I reckon, Oliver Wood. But they went with the single straight away. So good little partnership developing here and a good understanding with the running.
Terrific run between the wickets. They're young, they're quick, so take the fielders on, put them under a little bit of pressure, and also it makes the bowlers think about their line and length a bit more as well. Farzan
Raja was the player there, just to that short fine leg position. So 2 fielders out at the moment, forward square leg on the boundary and a 3rd man. Wood on strike, 9 off 15. Bowen into him now. He plays it through the covers, doesn't make great contact, risky shot, does get it over the infield. Catch was the cry. He'll pick up 2. So a slice of luck there for Wood, but this is the sort of game it is. Sometimes you've got to take a few chances. But maybe on the top of the splice a little bit.
Yeah, once again, he's trying to hit it through the covers. You should be trying to cut him through point or over point. The ball's short enough and it's actually getting up to around about chest height. Just rock back and cut it.
And so a slice of luck there for Oliver Wood. Moves up to 11, 1 for 29. Last ball of the 6th over is full. He plays to mid-wicket. Makes good contact, no run possible. So 6 overs gone, 1 for 29. So last couple of overs have moved things along a little bit.
Yep.
Run rates 5 and over, which is not great, but it's getting them on their way.
It's giving them a bit of a platform now. They haven't lost any wickets, and hopefully now, if they can start rolling along a little bit more, it gives the lower order a bit of a chance to have a bit of a crack at the end.
So looks like we are going to see Umair Butt, his opening bowl with plenty of pace. We'll probably enjoy the bounce of UTAS Stadium here. Umair Butt.
Power play.
So power play will pick to Fitzy is over. So we have extra players on the boundary. It's often seen teams not go straight away to have everybody on the boundary, but they sort of incrementally increase it. But let's see, we've got
4 out.
4 out.
It's a pretty stock standard field now.
Yep. 2
sweepers, and 2 third man and fine leg.
Yep. So we met Butt, right arm over. He's bowling from the Invermay Park end. Over the back, we've got Launceston and Mowbray playing in the NTCA or Cricket North competition. This is short outside the off stump, and it's just dabbed on the offside to point by Jake Williams. They run with the shot, and they get the 30th run for the Northern Raiders. 1 for 30. Williams up to 17 off 18. Wood is 11 off 17.
Gives them a lot more chance now to just push the ball in the gaps if they can't get a decent shot away. Just make sure you keep rotating the strike, turn the strike over.
In comes Umair Butt. It's a short, it's scooped onto the onside in the air for a while. Safe enough though. They get themselves a single. So it goes to the fielder there on the field restriction ring. Just the 1 run. So 1 for 31 in the 7th over. Tidy start so far for Umair Butt. This one's just played back to the bowler. Very correct defensive shot. Jake Williams is signalling to the boundary for something.
Gloves.
Gloves, yep. So Glenorchy, after a tight start, made their first bowling change. They bowled 6 overs straight up with their 2 openers, Bowen and Moody. Umair Butt now. And this one's full, waist high, not a no ball. No. And Jake Williams couldn't take toll of that one. Hits it straight to the player there at mid-wicket in Farzan Raja. No run. A couple of results from earlier today. Lindisfarne 5 for 122, defeated South Hobart Sandy Bay 8 for 121. And Kingborough 2 for 166 off 18 overs, defeated Uni 3 for 165. This time Williams gets a bouncer. It's a wide, well over the batsman's head. So that will be a bonus run now for the Raiders, plus that ball will be bowled again. A bit too short there.
Yeah, I think that the Glenorchy bowlers have read this pitch pretty well. They can see there's a lot of bounce in it, and they're trying to really bang it in to make it harder for the Tasmanian boys, for the Raiders boys to be able to drive the ball down the ground.
As Umair Butt this time bowls to Williams, who just plays on the onside. No run. So tight over here. He's except for the wide there. He's been, well, I suppose he had the full toss as well, but no great damage done on the scoreboard in the 7th over. Just the 3 off it so far. As Umair Butt bowls to Williams. This one's short, doesn't get up awfully light. He plays in the offside to point with soft hands, gets himself a single. End of the 7th over, 1 for 33. So perhaps they could have taken a bit more toll of a couple of balls there, but reasonably good over there first up from Umair Butt.
Yeah, absolutely. The slower full toss, I think it might have deceived him just a touch. He was a bit unlucky not to get a bit more bat on it, but like I said, the Glenorchy bowlers are really banging the ball on the pitch. They're not bowling any half volleys. They're, I think the one half volley that they've actually got bowled was the one on the pads of young Ollie, and he whacked it over mid, straight mid on for 4. Yep. So I think it looks like they're going to bring the spinner on now, are they? Yeah, call for the helmet. Yep.
So we have to get some spin here, and this is young Giles Horn, the number 66, and a young spinner who former Clarence player. So let's see what he's got to offer here. Looks like an off spinner in his warm-up delivery.
Yep.
So the field well spread now. So a couple of warm-up deliveries. It's Williams on 18, Wood on 12. Barnard out for naught in the first over. Caught behind off David Moody. So Giles Horn going right arm around the wicket. Off spinner. Played on the onside by Williams just for a single. Just takes the 1 run. Yeah. With the action.
Yeah, I'd say he's going to bowl medium darts. I don't think he's going to try and turn the ball a hell of a lot. So you can really play him as a medium pacer.
It's a lot of protection for him. Mid-off is perhaps an area where they could go over the top Williams or Wood. This time it's Wood on strike. Goes through the covers nicely. It's the wide of the wide of the fieldsman there at deep cover, who does pretty well. They only get the one run. That was Zach Towns out there. Moved nicely to his right.
That was well fielded because he cut the angle off then. So instead of running around the ball, as a kid I was told, I can't do it anymore, I'm too old. But as a kid you're told to try and cut the angle to try and make sure the batsman can't get back for the second run.
Williams on strike now to Horn. Oh, and no feet movement there. He tries to chop it through the offside, through the keeper.
Yeah, probably try to play a little bit too fine then. Try to late cut it through the vacant sort of slip gully area. So trying to hit it probably more to point.
This one's pitched up. Doesn't get any timing on it. Gets it straight to cover. Right on the bottom of the bat.
Just darted that one in, didn't he?
Yeah, he's bowling well, young Horn, so far. Only conceded a couple of runs in his first 4 deliveries.
Jake's eyeing off deep mid off here.
Yeah, that's the glaring gap you can see. Now, I think Giles Horn has seen that look, and he's sent back his mid off.
You can just see what he was trying to do there.
So there's protection now right around the ground as Horn comes in. Reverse sweep is executed reasonably well. It does get past the infield. We'll get down to the boundary. It got past young Brennan Copper there. And that's 4 runs to Jake Williams. And always a bit of a risky shot, but that was as well played as you want it.
Exactly right. He hit it beautifully, didn't he? And unfortunately, young Cops the ball hit and turned, and it's always the second bounce that does you in. And that is exactly what happened to young Copper then.
So he's just moving Copper a little bit finer now. The next ball, 1 for 39. 1 ball left in the 8th over. This one's just played comfortably down the middle. Now they go to the first one quickly. They're going to take on Manpreet Singh. No, they're not. As he gets the ball back in quickly. So just the 1 run. So the score into the 40s there. It's 1 for 40. We've got Williams now on 24 off 26 deliveries, Wood 13 off 19, and a fine partnership is building.
It is actually. They've batted very well after the horror start they had. They've run very, very well between the wickets, and they're just starting to get a few boundaries now too, which is good. So it's building a nice little platform. They need to start pushing along a little bit more now. Probably get it up to sort of 8 and over for the next 4 or 5 overs. Try and get up to about 80 after say 13.
Yep.
And then they can launch after that. Easy said.
Especially if they've got 1 wicket in hand still.
Easy said than done. Mike.
Easy said than done, that's right. 89, the player number 89 is coming to bowl. That's Farzan Raja. So I mentioned earlier today in our preview that he's played some games with the Tigers second 11. So pretty capable with both disciplines, batting and bowling.
So a leggy?
Yep. So Jake Williams will be on strike first up. Has a look around the field. Farzan Raja wheels in. Orthodox leg spinning action. He gets us around the corner, might have been a bottom edge. They might get a couple here. It's gone very fine. He's turned for the second, throws a high one, so they'll make it comfortably. So a couple of runs there to Jake Williams. It was indeed off the bat. So 1 for 42. He flips the ball from hand to hand as Farzan Raja. This one's pitched up. Nice wristy shot out to deep square leg. 1 more run to Williams. He's looking very comfortable now.
Absolutely, he's batting beautifully, isn't he? And it belies his age the way he plays too. He's actually he's become a class player.
Slow start to the season in the longer form of the game, but made some good scores before Christmas, and now really coming into some form in the latter half of the season. So for Oliver Wood, the mid-off is coming up inside the circle. So Brendan Copper inside. Might try and tempt Oliver Wood to go down the ground. This one's short. Oh, he tries a little ramp shot.
That's ugly.
It was very ugly. He didn't make contact. Lucky to still be with us. Now he's obviously trying to get that one past the keeper. No panic at the moment.
Why play just a little shot like that when it was short enough to hit? There's nobody out of deep mid-wicket at all. He just sort of smashes it straight over the top of mid-wicket's head.
He goes for the big one over mid-wicket. Big appeal, he's out. Yeah, look pretty adjacent from here, and we can see it on our slight delay here on the YouTube. It's pitched up. Yeah, looks like pretty much in front there. And umpire raised his finger, and Oliver Wood is out LBW for 13. Second wicket falls at 43. So he went for the shot he wanted, Fitzy, but he just didn't make contact.
He shouldn't have been on strike. He should have hit the previous ball either along the ground for 1 or into the outfield for 3. He played a poor shot, and in the end he got himself out.
Not a bad little knock, though. They put together 43 runs there, did Wood and Williams. So they've sort of got the ship back on track, but there's a lot of work still to be done. And striding to the crease now for the Raiders is Cooper Anthes, who's represented Tasmania at a junior level. Handy spinner as well. Didn't get a bowl yesterday. A young man coming in to face a quality leg spin in Farzan Raja.
Needs to tuck himself in.
I was going to say the shirt's out. So Farzan Raja, 1 for 3. The other wicket taker today was Moody, 1 for 17. James Bowen, 3 overs for 12, very economical early on. So crucial part of the game here. And it's always a bit of a problem losing wickets in T20. The next batsman's just got to get a bit of a sighter. Means a bit of a loss of momentum. We'll see what happens. Raja to Anthes. He goes back, plays on the onside.
No, wrong.
Wasn't wrong. Span back into him. Probably wasn't expecting a wrong in first up, but he read it pretty well. Played on the onside. He may have read it off the pitch, but that's all right. How do you go with the wrong and Fitzy? Can you pick it usually?
Oh, it depends how good the bowler is, I guess.
That's it. Next one. He advances down, meets it on the half volley, and just pats it back to the bowler. Great first over there from Farzan Raja. 1 for 3 off his single over so far. 9 overs gone, 2 for 43. And Farzan Raja, as we said, he's played second 11 cricket, and we can see that class coming through.
Yeah, he's nice and quick through the air, but he also gives a bit of flight too, which is good. So there, he looks like a pretty good bowler. But this pitch isn't going to offer much spin, I don't think. I think it's going to be more variations, bit of a variation off the pitch, and also his speeds through the air.
It may offer what some spinners like, especially leg spinners, a bit of bounce.
A bit of bounce,
which
yep, absolutely
could be a factor. So Jake Williams, yet to be dismissed this weekend. 60 not out yesterday, 27 not out today. Just snuck under 5 and over again as Giles Horn round the wicket with his off spin. Comes in. Jake Williams does pretty well here. Runs the first one hard as he gets it through mid-wicket. Says no to his teammate. Probably worth the call in the end, because that was a great throw there from David Moody. Big man, powerful arm from the outfield.
And it would have got halfway down the pitch, and that was a rocket arm.
Right adjacent to the stumps. As Giles Horn now is just adjusting his field there, the mid-on. So they got the field up. The young man probably, they're banking on him not being able to hit over the top very much. There's nobody out on the boundary on the offside. This one's tapped onto the onside by Anthes. And no run.
He's going to try and keep him on strike here. Just get through another over without any damage done. It's good field placing.
There's Giles Horn round the wicket now, and Anthes just plays it straight to mid-wicket again. Needs to get that a metre or two either side of that fields when he'll get himself a single.
It's between him and Jake. Jake's been punching the gap there, and he's just hit 2 straight to the fielder.
Anthes now plays it round the corner nicely, out to deep mid-wicket. Makes good contact. They can't get the second run as Farzan Raja does some good fielding out there in the deep. Cooper Anthes is off the mark. It's 2 for 45. So Giles Horn just moving the deep mid on. Manpreet Singh right onto the boundary. I think they're happy to give Jake Williams a single here, as he obliges by hitting it down to deep mid off. And moving up now to 29 off 30 balls. None for 46 is the score.
Just need to keep pushing those singles, rotating the strike. Can't afford to be hitting fielders right now. They need to be definitely scoring off every ball, even if it's just a single. Just keep that scoreboard ticking over.
Next ball to Anthes. Does well to get it down to mid-on. To Manpreet Singh. So end of the over. Good one there from Giles Horn. 10 overs gone here at UTAS Stadium. The score is 2 for 47. Back in just a moment.
His greatest country music festival, the Devil Country Muster, at Trelmanna, Smithton on the 13th to the 17th of February 2020. Contemporary and country artists from Tasmania and the mainland will be appearing alongside headline act Troy Cassadaly with a great lineup of top country bands. Camping grounds will be open from the 11th to the 17th of February. For bookings and more information, visit the website devilcountrymuster.com. Devil Country Muster, a sponsor of City Park Radio.
Welcome back to UTAS Stadium. You like that? Did you like that screech there, Fitzy? As coming in is Farzan Raja, and it might have just deflected off the keeper's pads, I think, as the bails come off.
The keeper was actually signalling that it was off his pad, so that was good by him. You just see him doing it there on the replay.
Yeah, so it might have been the wrong one once again there from Farzan Raja.
It might have been a top spinner because it skidded through quite low.
2 for 47. Anthony's 2, Williams 29.
So he's got nice variation.
As he advances down again, hits it down to mid-on. And they'll just get a single there. Fielded by Umair Butt. So Anthony's, that's probably his job just for the moment, is just get off strike.
Just give Jake the strike.
And Jake will be looking for the boundaries when he can get them. Here he comes now to Williams. One short, it's a long one. Nearly got straight through him. It's an inside edge. They get a single. Fantastic ball there from, did turn that one. And I don't think Jake Williams was read that one very well.
Fair to say he didn't pick that one.
No.
That's an absolute beauty.
Yeah, even got a run off it, which is a bonus.
I'd say it looks like he turns his wrong a bit more than he turns his leg spinner.
Yep.
And,
no doubt about that. In comes Farzan Raja again. And it's upish, played there to point. And only about half a metre in front of the fieldsman there. He fielded pretty well. No run though.
So the current Raiders coaches do the same thing. He used to turn his wrong a lot more than he turned his leg spinner. And he go out.
I'll have a chat to him soon about that. Maybe he's going to be up here in the box pretty soon. Have a bit of a talk to us. This one's short again. Might have been the wrong one once again. Hit to cover. They go straight away with a shot. They make it as the throw is wide there from Charlie Easto. So run there to Cooper Anthys.
Notice his wrong one's a little bit flatter than his leg spinner. He pushes it through a bit quicker, so it makes it a little bit harder to get to.
Farzan Raja, his second over, last ball of it. Tosses this one up. Williams hits it down the ground powerfully to the right of the fieldsman. Are they going to take on the throw? Anthys decides to come back. It's not a bad throw from Copper, but they make it pretty well. So good running there from young Cooper Anthys. They get back for the second run. So it's 2 for 52 after 11 overs. So they can't quite elevate above that 5 and over mark at the moment. And they have to look at just increasing the tempo. They do have 8 wickets in hand.
That's one advantage they do have. They have wickets in hand, but they've really been bogged down by some excellent bowling here. The spinners have put the brakes on. And
I think with 9 overs left, they'll be looking probably 120. That'd be 8 and over as their minimum to try and get from here.
I think they'll be delighted with 120 from here.
Wait and see. There's a fair way to go yet. There are some players that can hit the ball still to come in. Just see if they make some adjustments to the batting order. Giles Horn, third over. Anthys hits it in the air, gets it to short cover. He gets it in the gap. Risky shot. Wasn't quite to the pitch of it. Scooped it in the air, but he got away with it.
Yeah, a little bit of luck there. You need luck in 2020 though sometimes.
That's right. Anthys on to 5. Williams 32 off 34. It's 2 for 53. Next ball from Horn to Williams. Plays it confidently down to mid-on. They just amble up the pitch. There's no chance of a second this time as Manpreet Singh comes in to do the fielding. So 2 for 54. Williams 33.
He's just going to bowl flat to Jake and try and get him to just push ones, and he's going to just get a little bit more flight to this Anthys.
Horn to Anthys. Plays straight to mid-wicket. Well fielded there in the infield. So Horner's bowled pretty well so far. 13 runs into his third over, halfway through it. Right arm round to Anthys, gets a shorter one on leg stump. He plays a sweep shot pretty well, gets it fine. They'll get at least 2. They may get a third here. Williams is turning and they'll get 3 comfortably as the fielding is done there by Umair Butt. So 3 runs to Cooper Anthys. So just straight on the leg stump there, and he executed the sweep shot pretty well. I don't think he meant to get it quite that fine, but it's on the board.
Nice little paddle sweep, that.
Yep. Takes Cooper Anthys to 8 off 13. Jake Williams 33 off as many balls. He just plays this one defensively.
I think Jake's realised now he has to bat through. He's used up plenty of balls. He's got a few runs, but he's used up a lot of balls. He needs to be there at the end and let the other guys bat around him.
He's looking for the single here, no doubt, to try and keep the strike for the 13th over. And he comes, and he hits it round the corner. They will go with a single. Umair Butts fields sharply, gets it back to the keeper, but he keeps the strike at the end of that over. It's 2 for 58 off 12 overs, so the run rate just slightly under the 5 per over. Williams 34, Anthys is 8.
Once again, another good over from the spinner, just keeping everything nice and tight, and everyone's tied down, and there's no boundaries being scored, so Glenorchy be delighted with that.
And I'm sure, as a captain there, Fitzy, with both the 50 over and 20 over game, you get through those middle overs quickly, you get the pressure on the batsmen, dot them up as much as you can.
Before you know it, the overs are gone, and if you put the pressure on and the boundaries aren't being scored, it just feels like you're being suffocated a little bit.
Farzan Raja, so the 2 spinners are going to bowl 3 overs each in a row. They may even bowl 4 in a row. Wait and see. Farzan Raja to Williams, who cuts straight to point. A lot of power on the shot, no chance for a run. So he's landed that one pretty well as Farzan Raja. That was the orthodox leg spinner. Will we see the wrong one with the next ball? He's used it a fair bit so far. This one's down leg side, it's in the air, but it's well played by Williams over the infield. That will run down, and I think that'll cross the boundary. It's getting towards the boundary now, and the fielder just gets there in time, and they'll get themselves 3. It's a long chase down there. I thought that had enough on it to go to the boundary, but well chased, and 3 runs to Jake Williams. That moves him on to 37, and the score on to 61. Anthony's back on strike. This one's the wrong one. He turns it around the corner. He can't get himself a run. A fairly longish run up for a spinner. A lot of energy in it, Fitzy. Nice pace through the air.
Yep.
Varies his flight pretty well. Players just having a bit of chat mid-pitch. He's doing a good job here. It's a good experience. He's 16 years of age. As Raja bowls to Anthys, this one's outside off stump. He's gone for the hit over mid-wicket. Bounces once before it gets to the fieldsman in the deep. So he gets off strike. Hit it pretty well. Yeah, I think he's a bit disappointed with himself. I think he wanted to try and hit the gap there, but straight to the field. But he gets Williams back on strike. Raja to Williams. This one's outside off stump. Let's be a wide as the leg spinner spins further away. So a rare bad ball there from Farzan Raja. It's well outside the off stump. Raja again. This one's flighted. Half shout there. So Fitzy gets that one not out straight away. Down leg side. I don't think Raja was that enthusiastic. It's more a reaction than anything. It's a dot ball, which is important at this stage of the game. Raja, it's a bit shorter. Williams, I'm not sure what he was thinking of there. He was about 5 mines, and in the end he just dabbed it down in front of him. Let's have a look at that one again. Yep. It was kept a bit low. It was a strange delivery, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think he was going to pull it to start with and then realised it didn't get up.
Yeah. A bit of variable bounce there. We haven't seen that much. Raja again to Williams. Similar delivery. That's a big wrong one. Half shout for LBW was too high. But he turns that wrong a long way. So we see it again here. That's come well miles back from the outside off stump. End of the over. 13 overs gone. 2 for 64. So Williams still there on 37 off the 40 deliveries. Anthony's 9 off 15. Okay, so we've got 7 overs remaining. We're at 64. So, yeah, 58 over gets to 120. 8 wickets in hand. We've got a bowling change. Umair Butt, who bowled just a 1 over earlier from the Invermay Park end. He switched now to the town end. A bit of breeze getting up here at TAS Stadium. A light wispy cloud, so it's slightly overcast. Pleasant day for cricket though. And many players out on the boundary, Fitzy. They're obviously not banking on young Anthony's being able to hit down the ground. So only, I think only 4 players out at the moment. So that's a nice little dab through second slip from Anthony's. Gets off strike. Fielded there by Brendan Copper. So intelligent little shot there from Anthony's Fitzy, just getting the set batsman on strike.
Yep.
Partnership developing here. 22. But acceleration time can't be too far away. And I think Jake Williams probably realises that. We might see some chances being taken here in a minute. Umair Butt, and in fact he backs away. He only does York himself though. He can just bunt it back down the pitch. So intelligent bowling there from Umair Butt. I think he might have seen him backing away slightly. Darted it in right on leg stump.
Yep, absolutely. That's exactly what he saw.
Critical part of the game here at TAS Stadium. You'll listen to City Park Radio 103.7, 96.5. Umair Butt bowls to Williams. He pulls through mid-wicket. That'll be out the boundary for 4. That's a very good shot indeed. He picked the gap between the mid-wicket fieldsman and the deep square leg. You can hear the applause in front of us there. And that's almost shot of the day for mine. Fitch, that was a fantastic shot there. He really saw his gap there and hit it beautifully. Great timing.
It was a bit of a nothing ball though, wasn't it? It was short, but he never got it up around his eyes. He just sort of, it was going about chest level, and Jake just cleared the leg and smashed him through square leg.
Maybe in a slightly slower ball. In he comes again to Williams. This one's a bit quicker. Hits straight to cover. Can't get it through. Shy at the stumps, but Williams is back in his ground. So Jake Williams now 41. 60 not out yesterday. Can he snare a back-to-back half century? He told me before the game he wanted to beat yesterday's score. So let's see if he can execute that. In comes Umair Butt, and Williams just dabs it on the left, onto the onside, and he gets himself a single, picked up by David Moody.
A bit of an off-pace ball, that one.
Yep, similar to the one that I think he hit before. So, Umair Butt, none for 10 now in his second over. That run rate still hovering around the 5 and over mark. Anthony's 10 off 16. Partnership is 27 between Anthony's and Williams. There's Umair Butt bowls on the stumps, and nice shot there from Cooper Anthony's. Good timing, down to deep mid on. And they finished the over with a signal. It's 2 for 71 after 14 overs. Williams 42, Anthony's on 11.
Classy little on drive that. Unfortunately in this game though, the fielders are all out, so only get 1 for it.
So the base is there. And we saw Clarence make 140 yesterday. And so it's a bit hard to tell what the par score is. It was tough going early on. I mean, when you think they were 1 for none in the first over, to recover for 2 for 71 is not a bad effort. But it's all about this last 6 overs now, what they can set the Glenorchy lineup in response. They've been bowling, fielding well in recent games, have the Raiders. So going to bowl 4 overs straight is Farzan Raja. 1 for 14 so far. See if he bowls one of those big turning wrong. This one's full, and Anthony's does his job and just gets it down the ground. They run the first one hard, but good fielding there from Towns. That's why Easto. He gets it back in pretty quickly. So Jake Williams now on strike. Is it time to take some chances?
Nearly.
Yep.
I think that they probably don't want to lose him another wicket for another maybe over and a half, and then maybe have a go. Hopefully Jake stays in because he's the one that's set.
Here he is, facing Raja. He advances, tries a little paddle sweep. I don't know what he got on that. It might have been an under edge. See what the umpire says. Goes down a short third man for a single. No single from the umpire. Yeah, I think they're just a little under edge there. So another run to Williams. Moves up to 43. 2 for 73. So Nathan Matthews just altering his field a little bit. He's now got a deep mid on. As Raja bowls to Anthys, who advances. No, he somehow gets it through slip. As Fitzy said, that'll do, because they'll race out towards the boundary. It'll nearly go over through where second slip would have been, and it covers the boundary now. So 4 runs there to Cooper Anthys. I just missed the replay there, Fitzy, but I think it was just an under edge there.
Yeah, it looked like he yorked himself, but luckily he got the tail of the bat through where first slip would have been. It raced away the boundary. Geez, the outfield's good.
Moves up to 16. 2 for 77, halfway through the 15th over. Partnership now worth 34.
Such a shame the other night that storm came through.
Yep.
The ground really is in such great condition. You didn't really get a chance to see how good the whole area is because it's just on and off all the time. They're just worried about the rain.
Farzan Raja, once again Anthys, takes a step forward, then hits it straight to mid-wicket, or mid-on, and the skipper Nathan Matthews does the fielding.
Smart field placing that, trying to stop that little one down the ground.
Raja, 1 for 20. 2 balls left in this over. He flights this one, swept by Anthys. Will it beat the fielder? It will. It's a fine shot. That'll go down to the boundary at fine leg for 4. Slowing up, but it'll definitely get there. So, fieldsman there
hurt his shoulder.
Might have hurt his shoulder. So, just trying to get the binoculars up because the numbers aren't very obvious. Black numbers on a black background don't go real well. Yeah, so definitely holding that right shoulder still. There's the fielder down there. So once he turns around, I'll try and get an ID on him for our Glenorchy viewers on the stream.
Right, to pop his AC joint, does he?
He's not in a great way. Still trying to flex it.
Just a little bit of a stinger, maybe.
But fine shot there from Cooper Anthys, who's moved up now to the 20s. 20 off 21. 2 for 81 with 1 ball left in the 15th over. I'm not sure whether
strife, I think.
I'm not sure whether they bought a backup fieldsman either, which is interesting. Jeeves, he might have to get the gear on, and he would too.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would. We're going to have a bit of a break here. A bit of an injury break. We're only 1 ball away from the 15th over. So, Chris, if you're listening, we might take a short break now while the injury timeout is occurring. We'll be back here in just a moment on City Park Radio.
Want to enjoy a scrumptious Vietnamese meal in a picturesque setting overlooking the Tamar River? The Riverview restaurant opposite the tail race opens 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. and 5:30 to 9 p.m. Australian options and a children's menu are available. 10% off for all takeaways and City Park Radio listeners. Give them a ring for your next function. They can cater for up to 60 to 70 people. Call the Riverview restaurant opposite the tail race at Riverside on 6327 1445. A sponsor of City Park Radio.
We're back at UTAS Stadium, and after a bit of a medical attention, and I have to wait till the player turns round because he's still holding that right shoulder. And I think you're right, Fitz, that could be an AC joint or the like. He's moved positions now. Might be Giles Horn, I think, number 66. He's now just trying to turn the shoulder over. And Giles Horn bowled a fine spell of bowling earlier. None for 17. He's still an over left, so whether he could probably be able to do that would be very questionable. So 1 ball left in the 15th over. It's 2 for 81. Anthony's on 20. Williams on 43. In comes Farzan Raja. Tosses one out to the off time. That's the wrong one. Right between bat and pad. That's the end of the over. And yeah, he tossed it up beautifully, enticingly, and a span back in. No feet movement there from Anthony's, but fine spell there from Farzan Raja. 54 overs, 1 for 24.
Yes, he bowled beautifully. Like I said, he's got a nice variation. He's got a big Roman, bowls a massive Roman, and then just bowls pretty much top spinners after that. So, he's very, very handy spiller bowling that.
So Umair Butt will come in to bowl his third over. 2 overs, none for 11. Williams on strike. So with 5 overs left, 10 and over gets to 130, 8 and over gets to 120. That's where they'll be looking around that 120, 130 mark. But to Williams, who's bowled, chopped it back on. He went for the drive, back foot drive through the offside, got the inside edge, has chopped it straight back onto his stumps. But a fine knock there from Jake Williams, 43 off 47 balls. And he's been dismissed, and he really held that innings together. And it's up now to the rest of the lineup to try and capitalise.
Just watching the replay, then he didn't move his feet. Just stood there and swung the bat. He's been using his feet beautifully in this innings. Just unfortunately, then he just got stuck, and his weight was going the wrong direction, and just chopped it straight back onto his stumps.
So it's 43 off 48 balls. There's the stats there for Jake Williams. He comes off the ground. A couple of big days for him. 60 not out yesterday, 43 today. And he'd be happy with those two efforts. Probably a bit disappointed getting out just now. But certainly a good couple of days of cricket there for Jake Williams.
Yeah, he'll be delighted with that. That's an excellent 2 days' work for him. And it also just keeps his name in front of the state selectors as well.
That's
for
right.
Certain other games, second 11 games and whatnot.
Exactly,
So it's a very, very big weekend for him. He's done very well. Against a very good attack too.
So 43 off 48 balls, 63 minutes with 4 boundaries. The stats there for Jake Williams. So Reece French is coming in. Always a tough time to come in a 20-over game. Fits in the 16th over. You've got a lot of time to have a bit of a cider, so we'll see what Reece French does. Boy from the northwest coast.
Bring the field in.
Yeah, they're going to give him the tempt. Go over the top if you're good enough. So Umair Butt comes into Reece French on the stumps. Straight to mid-wicket, first up. As there's a shy at the stumps. So ricochets away. So Umair Butt taking his first wicket, 1 for 11 in the third over. Comes in this time to the new man, Reece French. Flashes one outside the off stump. He gets the edge. Gets it straight through to the keeper. And that's another wicket there for the Glenorchy team. It's a nice ball outside off stump. He had a bit of a flash at it to Reece French. And straight through to the keeper in Graham Daft.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, look, you can't exactly stand there and block all day, can he? So
right.
He's just had a bit of a go at one wide outside the off stump and fed it through the keeper. Just those things happen at this time of the game, especially when you've just come in.
That's right. As we said, it's a difficult time to come in. You've got to go for it straight away.
Yep.
So he's very disappointed, Reece French. But good bowling there. And 2 wickets in this one over here from Umair Butt. As Brett Jeeves comes out on the ground, is giving a few instructions to some of his players. In fact, I think he's just having a bit of a chat there to Giles Horn just to see how that shoulder was. He's moving a bit more freely now, although the right arm is still hanging a little bit as he runs away. New batsman is Sam Elliston Buckley, young man from the Launceston Cricket Club. Another one who's represented Tasmania at junior level, under 16s. Also played some fine cricket for Launceston Church Grammar School and the independent schools. So 2 young players now here, the responsibility, trying to build this total. 27 balls left, 15.3 overs gone. Umair Butt into Elliston Buckley for his first delivery. It's on the stumps, plays it backward a point. They go for a signal, bowls into danger. A straight hit would have been a dismissal. Charlie Eastoe there, he tumbles after he throws it. But risky first run there comes off for the Raiders.
Dead and buried if it hit, wasn't he?
Yep. Yeah, it's the old story with the player playing behind the wicket on the back foot. He's got to get on his bike pretty quickly. It's never going to be a problem for Cooper Anthys, who backed up well. Anyway, it's a run, 4 for 82. And this over has really just halted the momentum of the Raiders. Umair Butt this time to Cooper Anthony, soft hands. Once again to Easto, another shy. Would have been out once again. This time at the keeper's end. So you can hear the players there and their exclamation. But they took on the throw for a second time. Got away with it. So Charlie Easto getting him to work there. Inside the field restriction circle.
There's nothing wrong with putting a bit of pressure on the lads in the last few overs.
Correct.
See if they can hit the stumps, and so far they've been lucky. They haven't hit them.
21 for Cooper Anthony's now for 23. Elliston Buckley 1. He's on strike now, Elliston Buckley. Plays this straight back to the bowler and get the timing on the shot. It was well bowled by Umair Butt. And that's the end of his over. 3 overs, 2 for 13. And a Glenorchy bowler there. Lively pace, and he bowled pretty well getting those 2 wickets.
Bowls full and he bowls straight, and you can't ask for any more in this sort of competition, especially in the late overs. Makes it very, very hard to hit sixes.
Now, the player with the injured shoulder, Giles Horn. Oh, he's trying to do a practice delivery here. He's a bit ginger. This is a bit of a risk, you'd think. They probably have got other players who could bowl an over if required. I think Brett Jeeves went out a moment ago just to see how he was. He's declared himself fit, so once you've done that, no excuses. Just trying to set the field here. So it's Cooper Anthony's on strike. Still got Omani to come, who can hit a ball, and Jennings with a bit of experience. So a little bit of batting still in the shed. 4 overs left, 4 for 83. So Marnie might be coming in next by the look of it. We'll wait and see. Giles Horn to Anthony's. He plays it to mid-wicket. They want 2. And they can't get it. A bit of a stumble there from Manpreet Singh. They get the run. 4 for 84. So there'll be a lot of hit and run now, I think, Fitzy.
Yep. Can't have any dot balls now. And if you just single, just to get the strike turned over and try and at least get to 120.
Round the wicket comes Giles Horn. Pushes this one through. Straight back to the bowler from Elliston Buckley. So he's showing no real effects of that shoulder injury. He doesn't look totally comfortable. But as far as the deliveries are concerned, it's still coming out okay, I think. He probably is in a bit of pain. He bowls this one on the stumps. It's hit by Elliston Buckley in the air for a while. Down to Easto, who fields comfortably, and they get themselves a run. Elliston Buckley up to 2. Anthony's is 22. 4 for 85. So they pushing the mid-off back on the boundary for Anthony's. He's having a look. There's well spread field. 4 on the offside, 5 or 6 on the onside. 5 on the onside, I beg your pardon. That's where he's eyeing off his Anthony's. Slightly squarish stance. As Horn bowls, he goes reverse sweep, does pretty well. He gets it past the infield, and then I'll go out towards the boundary. Zach Towns gives chase. Smart play there from Cooper Anthony's. And I tell you what, this is for a man young, smaller stature. He is playing a manful innings at the moment.
Interesting shot, wasn't it? It was a hip-hop full toss, and he got it down past the keeper for 4. He probably could have hit it over mid-wicket for 6. But we'll take the 4, though.
Boundaries are pretty valuable at this stage. Yeah, still questioning whether they should have bowled Giles Horn here. He did appear to hurt his shoulder. He tosses this one up, and he gets a pass, and he's landed on it again. And I don't think that's going to do the right shoulder very much use either. Is that the last ball of the over?
Down on here.
So let's get the glasses up here. Not that I can lip read, but
I reckon the umpire said he has to go off the ground. That's interesting.
So, not sure what's going on here. Meanwhile, the drink's been brought out to young Cooper Anthys. So the umpire's intervened.
Well, he's staying out there, though.
Yeah.
The umpire was signalling, looked like he was signalling dead ball, but it could have been a dead ball.
Now the runs have gone on the board, 4 for 90. Anyway, bit of a mystery. We might try and find out later on what went on there.
And the umpire's confused as well, yeah.
Giles Horn, which you'd imagine will be the last ball, unless it's a wide or no ball. This over. Round the wicket, tosses up, or tries to dabble it. Appeal for stumping as he misses the ball, as does Elliston Buckley. That's the end of the over. That's 17 overs gone, 4 for 90.
He's had enough, he's coming off.
And we've got a replacement fieldsman coming onto the ground. So I might try and it's not on our numbers list here. I'll try and find out who the replacement fielder is. As Giles Horn is off the ground. About to get underway in the 18th over. 4 for 90. So 3 overs left, Fitzy. 120 now is 10 and over. That might be a little bit stiff.
Yeah, they're going to be pushing the proverbial uphill to get to that, I think, now.
Yeah, Giles Horn's come off. He's not in a great way. The replacement fielder. Be interested to see if he's able to bat later on with that shoulder injury. And Umair Butt, who's been impressive, as of many of the Glenorchy bowls. 2 for 13. Comes in, he bowls to Anthys. Plays it down a bit off. They go with the shot.
Oh,
It was a misfield.
dear,
They should
dear.
get 2 now. So that was Manpreet Singh. Costs him misfield there because it gets probably the batsman who's looking the more dangerous at the moment. Anthony's back on strike.
The bowler's just gone, go down to cover, mate. You're not going to feel there anymore.
That's right. There's Manpreet Singh. He's been moved to the cover position.
It's one thing about the subcontinental players, they don't like misfields off their bowling. I've noticed that over the last couple of years.
Nathan Copper is actually the replacement fielder. There we go. So, that keeps low outside the off stump. Umpire says no wide. Graham Daff does well to a low ball.
Tell you what, he's been a fair peak, Chopper.
He's out there. So Brandon's father, Nathan Copper, is out there as the replacement fieldsman.
Yeah.
He's wearing the number 24 shirt. Umair Butt, this time to Anthys. Gets a full toss, he hits it through the offside. They'll get a quick single as Manpreet Singh shies at the stump. But the batsmen are home safely. So they're just getting the ones at the moment. 4 for 93 after 17.3 overs. Cooper Anthys up to 30 off 29. Elliston Buckley 2 off 5. So the batsmen out so far. Barnard no score. Williams 43. Wood 13. And French no score. As Umair Butt. Oh, it's a nice little,
very handy.
Nice little late cut there. Went through where first slip would have been. And gets himself a forward as Elliston Buckley. I don't think he quite meant it to go that fine, but the idea was there, and he got the slight edge on it. It went past Graham Daft, and it sailed down to the boundary. 97 the score, 17.4 overs.
Almost the best shot you can play in this game is just a little glide where first slip would have been, just past the keeper. There's never anyone there. It's always going to be 4 runs.
Umair Butt, once again to Elliston Buckley, who hits beautifully down the ground to mid-wicket. This will bounce, go close to being a boundary. It is. So 2 boundaries in a row there to Elliston Buckley. His family may well be in front of us here. So Sam Elliston Buckley, a 4, little dab through where first slip would be, and then a hit over mid-wicket, and that was well timed and well hit. So that gets the hurry along. That's 100 up, 4 for 101.
I think Jeezy was just asking the same question to the spectators. Is that your boy, is it?
That's good. Good to see. So Brett Jeeves, the Glenorchy coach in front of us here. This one's a bit of a bouncer. It's a good one too, a bit more pace. I don't think Umair Butt was very happy about being hit down the ground. So a bit more pace on that one. He bent the back.
Typical.
Went past the helmet. Bit of chin music there for Elliston Buckley. Into the over. 4 for 101. 2 overs remaining.
Typical fast bowler's response. Drop one short, try and take his head off.
There's a bit of pace behind it. And speaking of pace, we've got David Moody, who's got that one over up his sleeve. I think he'll bowl this one, and I'm pretty sure James Bowen will bowl the final one. So, risk of repeating ourselves, we've said that a few times in the last couple of days. This is why the Raiders are in this competition. These two young players, 16, 17 years of age, against a first-class player in a crunch situation. This is where you learn about the game.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly right. This is the best possible preparation you can have to play decent cricket because, you're not going to be facing guys like this in the NTCAA.
That's right.
Bowling 135, 140 clicks, just play first-class cricket.
So on strike is Anthony's, 30 off 29. The partnership of 20 here has been handy. In comes Moody to Anthony's. Oh, that's a good ball outside the off stump, just that bit of extra pace. And basically it was a carbon copy of what he's bowling in his first spell.
Yep, bang the ball on the pitch. Just a little bit of nibble off the pitch as well.
Yeah, he's beaten by pace on that occasion. There's no doubt about it. So they're desperately trying to get up to that 120. It's not going to be an easy pitch to score quickly today. It's a bit of bounce in it. The Raiders will have to bowl very good areas. In comes Moody to Cooper Anthony's. Oh, he's beaten again. Nice ball, and that might move back in as well. It was taken to his left there by Graham Daft. Watch on the replay. Yep, beautiful ball. And once again, I think the pace off the pitch there was what got young Anthony's.
Yeah,
2 dot balls.
He's got some wheels, there's no doubt about that, and I don't think young bloke's faced anybody this quick before.
1 for 17. Of course, Moody took a wicket off the third ball of the day, getting Miles Barnard caught behind. And that same sort of situation we saw there. Moody to Anthony's. Third ball of the second last over. He chips it to mid-wicket. He should be caught by Eastoe, and he is. So batsman crossed. Ellison Buckley will be on strike, but fine little knock there from Cooper Anthony's. 30 off 32 deliveries, but he's caught by Eastoe off the bowling of Moody. But impressive knock from the young man.
Was, absolutely. He looks very good. I wish he'd take his shirt in though, but yeah, no, he looks like a very good young cricketer. So I'll ask his coach coming up here to have a chat with us right now. Always got a bat with his shirt hanging out. Looks terrible. Anyway, he looks like looks like a class young player, and this is going to always hold him in good stead for future years with facing some this is class bowling. This is really good bowling.
No, he met the challenge, run a ball 30. That's pretty good. It's a warm round of applause from the spectators here. And now we're at 5 for 101 with 9 deliveries left.
That was terrific. Just saw Brett Hughes go over and give him a pat on the bum on the way off the ground too. It's excellent. That's
good to see. And Geez is a real supporter of junior cricket, not just his own club, but in cricket in general. And that's what it's all about. So Moody now 2 for 17. And as I said, the batsman crossed. So Elliston Buckley is on strike. The new player is Sam O'Mahony. Elliston Buckley. Moody pitches up. It's not a bad little shot. They're going to run with the single. It would have been out if he hit the stumps there from Matthews, but they had to take the chance to get through for the single. It's 5 for 102.
Yeah, take him on. This time it's not going to matter if he gets run out in this sort of situation. Still got 5 wickets in hand, so you might as well take him on.
So O'Mahony about to face his first ball. 5 for 102.
Left-hander.
So Moody will have to adjust his lineup. He hasn't bowled to a left-hander as yet today. Just making some fielding alterations.
Let's go through about chest height, I reckon.
I don't know if we've got anybody at deep mid-on. We've got the sight screen in front of us, but there's definitely no one at deep mid-off. As Moody comes in now to O'Mahony. Short. That's up around the helmet area. And that's, I think it might hit his forearm. We'll have a bit of a look here on a bit of delay on the YouTube. Oh, yeah, that's up around the shoulder area. That was a vicious bouncer, that one.
I said chest height. I was wrong. It was head height.
I don't think it hit him on the helmet. It just sort of hit him on the shoulder area.
That was quick.
And vitally for Glenorchy, of course, it was a dot ball. The score remains at 5 for 102.
Odds in New Yorker.
Moody now to O'Mahony. Hits down the ground. They'll go with a shot. If he hits, he's out once again. And that was Nathan Copper. He get into the action there, the number 24. And they took the chance there. They took the run. So 5 for 103. Omani off the mark. He's on 1. Elliston Buckley is on 11. And I think James Bowen will probably step up to bowl this last over of the innings.
Definitely, yep.
Probably a bit short of where they want to be, Fitzy. Of course, you know, a lot can happen in this last over. But it's runs on the board.
There's runs, and that's what I was about to say.
Yep.
It's runs on the board. They've got to get them. They've just got to bowl good areas and take everything that comes their way and just hope for a bit of luck.
So James Bowen bowled a fine spell earlier today. None for 12 off his 3 overs. Held tightly. And I'm sure the Raiders would love just a 10 or 12 here just to boost it a little bit. We've got a lot of fieldsmen changing places here. Field's just about set. Left-handed Omani. There is no deep mid-off or deep cover. So that might be an area he might target. Well, Sam Omani, the young boy from Devonport, as he hits down through mid-wicket though. He gets it to short mid-wicket, who just rolls along the ground, gives up the single. I think about a second one there as it just rolls away, but they won't get it. 5 for 104. Omani on 2. So young Elliston Buckley we saw last over, that beautiful shot through mid-wicket. And of course that late cut, so he's capable of hitting boundaries. And he's still got that gap at mid-wicket. So deep cover, deep mid-off, third man. Looks like fine legs coming up now. Nathan Copper, who's substituting at the moment for Giles Horn, who may or may not be able to bat. That could be an interesting situation later on. James Bowen in now to Elliston Buckley, who advances. He hits it down through mid-off. They might go for 2 here. They're turning. They're going to go. Throw has to be good. It's pretty good, but they make it. So good running there from Elliston Buckley. 5 for 106.
It's well run.
Goes up to 13.
Big ground this one, plenty of 2s. If you can push it into a decent gap, there's always 2 there, especially on the arm because it's a long throw.
It was positive running, wasn't it? They set themselves out for the 2. And pretty pacey between the wickets, these young guys. Bowen bowls to Elliston Buckley, does late cut again. Probably hits it too well. Gets it down here to Brennan Copper. So another run, 5 for 107. Three deliveries left. Omani on strike. On 2, Elliston Buckley 14. Batsman out. Barnard no score. Williams 43. Wood 13. Anthony's 30. French no score. So James Bowen just making a bit of an alteration there to his field. So he comes again this time to Sam Omani, who hits down the ground powerful, well, not that powerfully, didn't quite time it. Pace off the ball. They're going to go for 2. It'll be interesting.
Great
and
run.
well run again. So crowd appreciative of that as Sam Omani doubles it up there to mid-wicket. 2 deliveries remaining. 5 for 109. So we're nearly up to the 110 mark. I thought 120 might have been a good score. But these sort of runs in this last over are pretty crucial. Bowen to Omani. Backs away and is bowled. He might have got an under edge to that one as well.
Yep.
As he chopped it onto his stumps. So Sam Omani is dismissed in the second last ball. Yep, he got the under edge on the leg stump. So Andrew Gower's about to join us here in the commentary for the last ball, and we'll have a chat to him after that. As, here he is.
Cheers, thanks for having me.
No worries, mate. Who's coming in for this last ball?
Young Jake Dixon.
Jake Dixon's coming in, the boy from Wynyard, or Wynyard originally, now Burnie.
Correct.
So 6 for 109. So while he's striding out, your feelings? A little bit short?
Yeah, we thought par was 120, so we spoke prior to the game and had a good chat with Evan Gulbis yesterday while he was here watching, and he's done a bit of research on T20, and average winning score around Australia is 122.
Okay.
So for the last 3 years, so we thought 120 was par, so just a little bit unders, but the boys said that the wicket's just sticking a little bit, so there is a little bit in it for the quick, so which is good signs for us.
James Bowen. He's 1 for 18. His last ball to Jake Dixon. Here it is. Dixon hits down the ground. He's going to get past the infield. He doesn't, but he'll get himself a single. And that'll round the score off nicely at 110 after the 20 overs. So well done to the Raiders after a shaky start. They've got a total that's runs on the board. Dickie, we'll have a quick chat to you now because you probably want to get down to your players. So,
that's okay.
So Jake Williams once again was pretty good.
Yeah, look, Jake's been fantastic. We had a bit of lunch today with Jake, and we spoke about his last 4 inningses, and he's really only failed once against South Hobart, Sandy Bay. So other than that, he's been striking it really well. The onus on him was to open the batting and take some leadership at the top, which has been great. And I think he's had 4 50s out of his last 5 hits, so or round about 50, so which is super for the side.
He must have been happy after that early wicket of Miles. You had a partnership between Jake and Oliver Wood, then Jake and Cooper Anthys, just to consolidate a bit and have those wickets in hand.
Yeah, look, we changed our focus a bit today. I thought that yesterday we were quite rushed and we were too aggressive in trying to hit 4 balls. You know, it's an 80-metre boundary out here and it's a great surface and great facility, so I think we had to be smarter and play the ball later, find the gaps and run hard. So to get yourself in, we needed to be, run a ball, hitting the 2s and being a bit smarter because, Moody's a world-class bowler, as we know, and, he's got a Hurricanes contract and he bowls 145. So to try and hit him on the up is ridiculous. So we talked about hitting down on him and hitting the gaps and being smart with the way we played him. So I thought we achieved that today, and we moved the batting order around, but Cooper Anthys was fantastic. I thought Ollie Wood played his role really well as well. So to build that partnerships and have a platform to try and build for that 120 was exactly what we needed today.
What's the average age of the side, mate?
So we've got one person over 21 today, which is Miles. So other than that, we've got 2 16-year-olds, we've got a couple of 17-year-olds, a couple of 18-year-olds, and then you got Beats and Reese at 21. So it's average age would probably be 18 and a half, I reckon.
This is a great grounding for them. I remember when we were kids, we used to play against state players every week, basically.
Yep.
And you become quite you get used to the higher standard. If you're playing against just kids and that every week, you're just going to stay at the same level. This is going to push, especially it's going to push the 2 young blokes that, like Cooper, I thought was tremendous. Got to tuck his shirt in though, mate. What's it like? Reminds me of Justin. Remember Justin Bibb used to hang the shirt out.
Yeah, true.
And what's known as just a class act, Jakey. He looked really good today. I've seen him since he's like 11, 12 years old, and he's just come along in leaps and bounds. And he must be starting to get into the minds of selectors a little bit too for second 11 games and whatnot.
Yeah, look, I hope so. Like, we've got some second 11 one-day games coming up, so I think form should merit selection, and I think Jake's should be considered. In regard to the 4-day cricket, Brady Hayes should be considered. He's made 150, he's made 100, and that's what our program's about. My KPIs is to get someone into a second 11 situation. So I'm looking for a future selection, and obviously working closely with Ali De Winter and the guys down south to try and make that happen.
Yep.
Great experience too to play on an arena such as this. Fantastic, and a lot of people come out to have a bit of a look today as well.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It was disappointing. Obviously, the girls didn't get a game today, but just seeing, ex-players here, current players here, families supporting the brand, which is fantastic. It's just disappointing that we only get to play 2 games here because, the facility's fantastic, the wicket's great, and it'd just be great to be able to utilise it a bit more.
In a couple of minutes when you leave us, what are you going to tell the boys?
I'm just going to say that we're a little bit under par, but I think early wickets is the key. I think James Beattie and Sam O'Money have been fantastic the last 2 games, and they've really put the screws on early, so I think that our attack will suit this wicket. We've got a lot of mediums. Cooper Anthys might bowl some offies. Kingy's a big out today. I'm not bowling his offies. I thought he was fantastic yesterday. So, it's just a matter of executing well, putting pressure on early. We know that, the power play is really important. So if we can keep him going under 4s and pick up a couple of early wickets, I think we're right in the game.
And finally, mate, what are your objectives for the rest of the season past the T20s?
We've got one more T20 next week. We play North Hobart down at TCA ground. Then we get back into the 1 days. So it's just a matter of just continuing to build. And, like I said, said before, I want Brodie Hayes and I want Jake Williams to continue with their great form. I want our bowlers, young Jake Dixon's been a find for us over the last 3 weeks. He's been fantastic, so I'm looking forward to giving him more opportunities in the longer format. And, just Cooper Anthony's just getting better. And if we can get little wins with these kids actually achieving something and then going back to club cricket and come finals time really dominating their own leagues in the NTCA and NWTCA, well, I think that's a win for the program. So, the group's really tight this year. We've trained a lot together. We've come together really well, and there's a lot of guys that are knocking on the door wanting to play now, so which is great for me. Since Christmas time and that win that we've had, I've had a lot of calls wanting to play and be in the program. So, young Ethan Conway yesterday getting 100 next door, he puts his name really forward for next week and future selection. So that's what the program's about. It's about rewarding guys that are doing well at club cricket. James Jennings comes in today from Sheffield. He's had a fantastic start to the year down at Sheffield. He's been getting lots of wickets, so we'll see how he goes today in this environment, but I'm excited to see what he brings.
Fantastic, mate. Look, well done on your job with the Raiders, and all the best for today and the rest of the season.
Thanks for your support, really appreciate it.
No
Cheers,
worries,
guys.
That's Andrew Gower here on City Park Radio. We'll take a break for a minute or two and back here soon for the second innings of the game.
Thanks, guys. Cheers, mate.
Community Care Tasmania is your local not-for-profit home care service provider in Tasmania. We deliver a full range of home care services with care and empathy. Our friendly, professional and innovative staff will tailor care to your needs. Ring 6334 0990 or 1300 722 400 and speak to a local. Also, you can visit cct.org.au to find out more. At Community Care Tasmania, we put your care first. A sponsor of City Park Radio.
Top Drop Automotive at BP West Launceston is an authorised Repco service centre. Seniors discounts available. Call today. Phone 634422. A sponsor of City Park Radio.
If you have a few hours to share and enjoy meeting people, then City Park Radio would love you to show visitors through our radio museum and take you on a tour of your community radio station. We're looking for more volunteers to undertake this rewarding task for a few hours each day. It's fascinating and fun. 6334 3344 is the number to call. Look forward to hearing from you soon. 6334 3344. Part of your community, City Park Radio.
Are you frustrated by your technology? Just not performing the way it should? Then bring it into the on-site computer technicians at Harvey Norman. Our tech team will do a PC health check, provide a repair estimate and a hassle-free quote. Harvey Norman are the experts in component upgrades, software installation, setup or removal. Let us troubleshoot any issues for you, regardless of where you purchased your computer. Tech team services start from just $49. Come in and see us today. We make technology easy at Harvey Norman.
Go, Harvey, go. A sponsor of City Park Radio.
Local sport, local music, local arts and culture on your City Park Radio. 103.7 and 96.5 FM.
Welcome back here to UTAS Stadium. It's Dave Moore and Andrew Fitz here as we're warming up here for the second innings of the game. Great Northern Raiders have batted. They made a 6 for 110. Barnard no score. Williams 43. Wood 13. Anthony's 30. French no score. Marnie 4, Ellison Buckley was 14 not out, Dixon was 1 not out, and the wicket takers for Glenorchy, Moody 2 for 19, Bowen 1 for 19, 2 for 24 to Umir Butt, Giles Horn none for 24, and Farzan Raja 1 for 24. And we've got the assistant coach now of the Glenorchy Cricket Club, Simon Stebbings, is about to step in, so he's just going to put the headphones on, and that's perfect, Simon. Welcome to City Park Radio.
No, thanks very much. It's good to be here.
Mate, what did you make of that first innings?
Yeah, it was interesting, wasn't it? Like the wicket was a little up and down. Looked like there was good carry early and then it kept a bit low. So I wouldn't say it's an easy batting wicket. So always hard to tell till the second innings how good the wicket is and how good the score is.
And we're pretty impressed with your attack. Obviously with David Moody first up, he was getting good pace and bounce.
Yeah, absolutely. So even talking to David, he said early on, new ball did bite a bit and carry, but as soon as the seam went off, he said, it was more just cross seam and try and hold the ball up in the wicket.
Now, a bit of injury there, mate, to Giles Horn, a bit of a shoulder situation?
Yeah, he felt like he could get through his last over and bowl okay, but he couldn't throw. So, I don't think it's too serious, just a bit of a twinge in the shoulder.
Now, the club this year, mate, how have you found the season so far?
Yeah, I think, it's On the scoreboard, we hadn't had the wins we'd like, but we've pushed, most of the top teams right to the last over and last few balls in a couple of the T20s. So we feel like we're competing with everyone. The challenge for the club now is to turn those good efforts into wins. So yeah.
And obviously, from a geography point of view, you guys obviously drawing young players from the northern suburbs there of Hobart, and you've got a zone and you work hard on getting young players involved?
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's a great spot, the northern suburbs, very, very working class and multicultural part of Hobart. Yep. So, that shows out with a few of the young local kids and the multicultural guys that have come through the program. So, it's a very, very interesting list.
A question I want to know is when you get your Pakistani import back. Is it coming back after the Big Bash, or what goes on there?
Yeah. Talk about Harris Roof here.
Absolutely. Harry, he's one of my personal favourites, so I've had a lot to do with Harry, and we were absolutely rapt that he got his chance with the Stars. Did
it surprise you, the success he's had?
Not at all. We've known of Harris for 2 years. We've been involved with the Lahore Kalandars, where he came from, and he was in Sydney last year. We knew of him, and we sort of had a bit of an opportunity last year, but we chose to go with 2 spinners, and then this year we jumped at the chance to get him down, knowing how good he was, but unfortunately for us he was a bit too good, so he's off on the big stage.
Yeah, fantastic. Obviously he would have scared some batsmen at Premier League level as well?
Absolutely. Yep. The first game he was a bit jet lagged and I think only bowled 5-6 overs, but second game he played, he nearly hit Darcy Short between the eyes first ball and ended up clean bowling him. So I think that was a welcome to Tassie. Who's this guy? He went on to get out Ben Rohrer, Allenby and one of their other good batters. So I think all of a sudden we thought we'd snuck this guy into Hobart, and he hit the headlines.
Obviously, you've got Jeevesy as coach, and his heart and soul is with the Glenorchy Cricket Club, and he's taken on the job and he's developing young players.
Absolutely. No, Brett's heart and soul of not just Glenorchy but Tassie cricket. He just loves it, and he was a great competitor as a player, and that's what he instills in the young guys, not just at our club but every kid he comes across. He just wants to help kids get better at cricket.
We saw that good little touch, young Cooper Anthys, when he came off. Brett went over and actually pat him on the back and said well batted, so that's the sort of thing that
absolutely. I mean, he's got his media persona that he likes to guard, in terms of he's a hard man. He pushes the line sometimes around his media, but behind the scenes he's just a great guy who loves helping kids. So
we'll get you to stay with us for the first couple of overs, Simon. I know you probably have to get back and have a chat to the players, but here we go now with James Beattie. First ball is outside off stump, and it's a wide. And so your 2 opening batsmen, you've got Manpreet Singh and Charlie Eastoe.
Yeah, so young Wiki Singh played in our 2s yesterday actually, and scored 80 off 50 runs, and had a late injury last night, so it was great to be able to bring him up on form from the second grade, which is a great story.
So Manpreet Singh on strike now to James Beattie. This one's on the spot, moving a bit away, a lot of feet movement there, so it goes through the keeper.
Now you can see there that Wiki likes to come hard at it, so there won't be a huge amount of feet, but he's got a lovely bat swing and bat speed, so if he gets onto a couple today he'll do all right.
Charlie Eastoe, of course, former Northerner, South Launceston player.
Absolutely, very classy player. Yep. Charlie.
He's actually my cousin's son, so there you go. It's Tasmania for you. So James Beattie, and we've got a bit of a field alteration, just probably in response to those first couple of shots from Manpreet Singh. We've got a deep point, also third man, so fine legs come up. So James Beattie will probably have to have very much a offside attack here. Left arm over again to Manpreet Singh. This is short, dabs the bat at it, no power, straight to point, no run. None for one remains a score. Nathan Matthews, of course, your skipper, he keeps on keeping on.
Keeps on keeping on, so Glenorchy legend at statewide footy and cricket. 200 games at cricket.
In comes Beattie now, bowling to Manpreet Singh. He just soft hands it down to third man for a single. And of course, Glenorchy Magpies, the cricket, Glenorchy Magpies in the TSL, the footy. Much relationship between the two clubs?
Yeah, we obviously share the facility.
KG5, yep.
Yeah, KG5, and there's obviously always been players across both forms, but we sort of find two sort of state league level clubs, you know, they're like a 12-month operation, we're a 9-month operation, so we pretty much run in isolation, but we love sharing the facility with the Magpies.
So James Beattie just tosses the ball from hand to hand, getting ready now to bowl the first delivery to Charlie Eastoe. He's got a similar sort of field as he had for the right-hander with the deep point and the deep third man. First ball to Eastoe, just gets a sider first up, plays at the offside. And it's fielded there by James Jennings in the team today from the Sheffield Cricket Club. And the concept of the Raiders, mate, do you think it's a good one? Do you enjoy the trips up north like this?
Yeah, I haven't made up my mind yet. I'm actually a northerner, so obviously previously grew up at Longford, played at Westbury.
Right. There you go. Left arm over, this time bowling to Eastoe. Flicks it wristily off the pads. That'll go down to the boundary. That's a nice shot from Eastoe. That's the first boundary of the reply here for Glenorchy. None for 6 is the score. Fine shot.
Yeah, so I still consider myself a northerner. I've been down in Hobart for 20 years, but
right, there you go.
Love seeing the kids from up north succeed and have opportunity. So yeah, I think it's just going to take a few years to sort through the concept. I think the concept's good. There's just, you know, how we make it work and long-term successful.
James Beattie now once again to Eastoe. This one's a better delivery. What's nicely done here by Eastoe down a third man. They might contemplate a second run here. Yes, they'll go as it's picked up in the deep. 2 runs to Eastoe. He moves up to 7. That's the end of the first over. And positive first over, Fitzy, from the Glenorchy boys.
Yeah, but nice little clip off the toes for 4. Yeah, I think you can see the difference in the bowling already. You've got a bloke with 140, 145 and a bloke bowling 120. It's a little bit easier to play. So, but the thing about this concept, I think, is these kids are only going to get better playing against better players. And when you're this age and you're playing against kids and you've been dominating for years and years and years, then all of a sudden you make this step. It's a huge step.
Yep.
And it'll take you a year or two to actually get up to this level. That's why I think Jake Williams was such an impressive innings today.
Yeah.
And young Cooper as well, Cooper Anthony's, but they'll only get better.
Yep, I agree. There's Omani now, your boy from Devonport Cricket Club. He's going to be bowling to Manpreet Singh. This one's pitched up, big shout for LBW.
He was walking.
The ball goes down towards third man. I don't know what he was doing there. He wandered off. It sounded a bit wooden to me. I don't know what you guys think, but sounded like 2 sounds. He wandered off and then took off for the single. So anyway, a run after all of that.
Yeah, it might have been pad bat.
Yeah,
it did do quite a bit. He's got a bit of hoop there.
Yep. Bowled well yesterday too, Sam O'Mahony. So did you play cricket with? Yeah, lived in the north there. Simon?
Yes, I grew up at Longford and played there as a kid, and then got targeted by Mike Claxton at Westbury to go over there and played there for a few years.
Excellent. He might have played against Fitzy. He's an old Trevelyan boy.
No,
they'd be probably in a different league then.
Northern Midlands.
Northern Midlands, that's right.
Yeah.
It's played down here to mid-off by Eastoe for no run.
So you're a Trevelyan lad?
Yeah, Trevelyan
Still?
lad. Yeah, oh well, yeah, I've been for 20
Up there with one of our good friends, James Whiteley.
Jimmy's our coach, yeah. Jimmy's our coach. He's a different cat, the old Jim.
He'd like a shout out too. He's a bit of a media man.
I said I was going to.
Next ball from Omani, and he comes to Eastoe. It's none for 9. And this ball, Eastoe plays around the corner. Well fielded in the infield there by Beattie. Throws the bowls in, but sharp running from Manpreet Singh there. Gets themselves the signal. Of course, you've got a few northern connections here. We've got Charlie Eastoe, James Bowen, Zach Towns. So a few of the boys that used to play up here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, interestingly, before the northern concept, you know, Glenorchy was a club, particularly through Brett, who, you know, really looked for Tasmanian talent. Yep. And that's been a big focus of us with locals. So, you know, it's an interesting mix now that they've got a home base to play from.
Omani in now, and it's cut here by Manpreet Singh. And it comes down a third man to Beattie, and they just get the single. So none for 11.
Yes, I think previously we tried to provide that same opportunity, and I think what you'll find is both will still happen. Just like people move to Hobart for education and work, there'll still be kids go down there to play cricket. So I think there's room for both, for sure.
There's Omani. Both opening bowls are left arm over. In comes to Eastoe, who tries to glide that through third man, doesn't make contact. And the boys excited about playing on UTAS Stadium?
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. I think it's probably a shock to some of the guys. Obviously, come up here quite a bit myself, but I don't think most Hobartians come north too often. They don't realise there's a nice little spot here called Launceston, and with great facilities like this.
Yeah, it's certainly a great place to play. And a new outfield, new pitch. Omani. And it's glanced nicely by Eastoe. There's no third man, so this should go away for 4. It's going to be touch and go. Beatty gets there. No, he doesn't. And so it's 4 runs there. Well played by Charlie Eastoe. He started very well. He's up to 11. And it's none for 15 after 2 overs.
Yeah, that's got to be the best outfield surface I've ever seen in my life. It's just absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, the commentators the other night on the Big Bash, for the length that it went, were very complimentary. Of course, it's been relayed since the footy season.
Yeah.
The TSL Grand Final this year was down south, so it's certainly a great facility.
I think it's good, and obviously since the old Kookaburra Cup, where we used to have the bus trips every 3 or 4 weeks, I think it's quite good to get the boys on the bus and get out for the day. And I think they have enjoyed the trip. So
I was only a boy then I played with my over ages. There was some interesting bus trips back then, I can tell you.
As Beatty bowls, beautiful shot from Manpreet Singh. That's the most shot of the day, I reckon. Stand and deliver through point area, smacks into one of the cones on the boundary. As we watch it here on the YouTube, and whack, gee, that is timed beautifully.
That's that bat speed, isn't it?
Yeah.
He just gets that stance nice and strong and just swings through. Beautiful.
Yep. It wasn't such a bad ball, really. It was up on off stump there, but it was beautifully hit through point. None for 19, so a fast start here. As this time he plays in defence. I suppose in chasing a total of 110, a lowish total, if you get off that flyer, it takes the pressure off early, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, basically, they're now none for 19 off 2. I think the Raiders were 1 for 19 off about 8. So there's the difference straight away.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the thing about batting second is, you get to sum up the wicket a bit, and it does...
Beatty this time to Manpreet Singh. It's a fuller ball. Chops it down a third man. They turn for the second. Throw comes in. It's a bit high. So a well-judged run in the end there. Manpreet Singh goes up to 8. Eastoe is 11. And it's none for 23.
Would you guys have batted first if you won the toss?
Yeah, I think so. I think we actually would have had a bat today, but it was one of those ones which was a 50-50, and I think sometimes the captain's not too worried about losing.
Beatty into Manpreet Singh. This one's short. He's gone the pull shot. Might have been off the gloves or high on the bat. It's gone over the keeper's head, down towards the boundary, and they'll come back for a couple of runs. So a nicely directed bouncer there from Beatty.
Yeah, it seems a bit trendy these days. They're leaving a lot of fluffy grass on these drop-in wickets, which I think just makes them hard to judge.
Yeah.
It's hard to work out actually what they're going to do.
Of course, it's the separate wicket from the other night, which was the one to the left there. Was the wicket for the BBL. None for 23. So Manpreet Singh is on 10 and Eastoe on 11 as the next ball's just patted down the wicket. So they need to get a couple of wickets here, the Raiders, to just put a little bit of pressure on the Magpies.
Yeah, I think that was the plan today, as I said, bringing Wiki up to open the batting as usually a middle order sort of striker. So I guess with that sort of total, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't.
And it comes Beatty now to Manpreet Singh, and he plays down a third man for a single. Score goes up to 24, and that's the end of the third over. We'll talk about Northern connections too. We noticed Brendan Copper making his debut today, son of Nathan Copper, who actually had to go out there and field.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously I live down in Hobart now. Nathan played in our under-17s last year, and with one of our opening bowlers had to work actually today in Hobart as a curator, so he pulled out late, and it was a great story to be able to bring Brandon from our twos as well up and give him a game, and I think that was part of the decision, was what an opportunity for a kid to come and play your first game. His grandma's here who lives round the corner, and his dad got a run out on the ground as well.
It's Omani for his second over now, round the corner from Manpreet Singh. Might have been off the body. They go through for a single. Let's see what the umpire says. Yep, leg by. So one more to the score. None for 25 in the fourth over.
Yes. Must like the Hobart food a bit too, Chopper. He's put on a little bit just since I last seen him.
Yes, and that was a funny story that he got to run out there today, and Brett and I were umming and ahhing about, look, we probably should have a sub fielder, and Chops was on the bus, so he got dobbed in.
I thought it might have been Brett. One stage it might have gone out. As in comes Omani, this time to Easto, who just defends back down the pitch.
Yeah, he was probably first choice, and then we took the line of what a great story for Brandon on his debut. Yes. Grandma's in the stand, and Dad gets to run out there on the ground and play. So sometimes I think cricket has some great traditions and great stories.
Yeah.
So
that's a good angle, that one. Yep.
He was a very good cricketer back in the day too, Chopper. Very, very good all-rounder.
Absolutely.
As it comes Omani to Charlie Easto, who's batting well. He's hit into the covers, and those boundaries take the pressure off, so Easto is not taking any risks at the moment. He's respecting the good balls. He's on 11. Manpreet Singh is also on 11.
Yeah, very correct batter, Charlie. So he's a nice striker of the ball, so I've got no doubt if he gets through this early patch and gets the pace of the wicket, he'll start to open up a little bit.
Omani getting through his over quickly here. Comes in again from the town end, but it takes the pace off the ball. Bit of a James Faulkner type delivery there.
Very similar, wasn't it?
That one again. So took the pace right off it. Let's see if the wrist sort of started to bend. Yep. Certainly did.
Yeah,
executed it pretty well.
That's been the danger ball out there today. I think David Moody and a number of the bowlers, James Bowen, did it well. So you did notice those guys who had the courage to bowl the slower ball have done well.
Omani. Once again, this time to Easto. That's Shorty, pulls back on the pull shot, does well, out towards the boundary. That'll be another boundary to Charlie Easto. He picked it up beautifully. He swivelled very quickly and didn't get a full purchase on it, but got enough to get out towards the boundary. That's Charlie Easto up to 15. It's none for 29.
Once again, it was a nothing bounce though, wasn't it? It only got up to probably just above waist height. You need to get it up around about eyebrow height if you're going to make it any good. And he just rocked back and just pulled it over mid-wicket. That's money for old road for left-handers.
Yeah, and I think you saw that earlier as well.
Omani this time to Easto, who plays the offside. And takes off with a single. Misfield means there's no danger. That was number 17 there, Reece French. A little bit of a fumble. So it's the end of the Omani over. And he's bowled 2 overs, none for 10. And it's 4 overs down, none for 29.
Yeah, I think it's that type of wicket. You even noticed David Moody put a few bit slow, a bit wide and short on the cut shot that got hit away, and then Umair Butt, who's quite a quick bowler, but when he got into that pull shot sort of height, they did take a toll and put him away from 4. So as you said, it's either got to be in good areas top of off, or if you're going to bowl short, really make it count.
So Oliver Wood, I think, is coming to... No, it's Jake Dixon, and Jake took 3 for 8 against Kingborough the other week, and he's followed that up with good performances against South Hobart, Sandy Bay and Clarence. A young man, originally from Wynyard, now with Burnie. Bowls pretty tight lines usually, and he's going to have to do that today, and perhaps take some wickets as well as Dixon bowls to Manpreet Singh. He gets that one through. Beautiful cut shot, just 4 to point, out to the boundary. Just dropping a little bit short there, young Dixon. And Manpreet Singh stand and deliver once again. Gee, that's a strong shot he's got there, Simon.
Yeah, beautiful hands, hasn't he? Like when he gets them in his hitting zone, he really makes them count.
None for 33. Here's the score. And you saying he's been playing mainly second 11?
Yeah, he started the year with a couple of ones games, but he's been in the twos for a month or so now, and had a great day yesterday, so earned his spot back in the team.
So Jake Dixon, see what he does with this delivery. is on leg stump, and that's played down a fine leg. No fine leg. We're in the power play, so that'll slow down to the boundary for another 4 as it's slowing up, but it gets to the boundary now. So that's back-to-back boundaries to Manpreet Singh. He goes up now to 19. Charlie Eastoe 15, and it's none for 37. It's not quite getting the line right there, Fitzy.
No, it's I was going to say there's totally pressure off, but there is no pressure really at the moment. It's just they're just cruising. Yeah, a couple of looseners, and unfortunately he's been picked off at both sides of the wicket.
Yeah, I think on this type of ground they're going to go to the boundary.
Dixon now to Manpreet Singh, tries that big cut shot. A bit extra bounce that time from Dixon. Goes through to the keeper, Elliston Buckley. Sun-drenched TAS Stadium now.
Yeah, value for shots out there for sure. On It's like a bowling green.
Yep. And your next fixture next week, who have you got?
It's a really good question. You got me on the spot there. But,
probably Clarence or somebody like that. As Dixon comes into Manpreet Singh through the covers. That's a classical subcontinental shot, that one. May not get 4 now because there's a sweeper out there on the deep point boundary. And they come back for 2. As getting the ball there was James Beattie. Score up to 39 in the 5th over.
There was a bit of Rohit Sharma about that, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Just threw the hands at it.
So pressure on young Dixon here. None for 10. 5th delivery there over. This one not timed as he tried to hit it through the offside. It ends up hitting the bottom of the bat and going through the onside.
Yeah, so I just checked up. I think it's a double header at KG5 this weekend.
Okay.
So Friday night T20 and then a Saturday T20.
Right. It's a pretty tough comp. Some of those sides were impressed by Clarence and Lindisfarne, and some of those teams are pretty strong. As Dixon bowls this time to Singh, he gets the thick edge, goes down to where third man would have been, and that'll be another 4. That's 3 boundaries in the over, and that's none for 43 after 5 overs. Simon, thanks for joining us here on City Park Radio. It's been a pleasure.
No, absolute pleasure.
No
Thanks
worries.
very much.
Thanks for your insight there, and all the best for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
No worries. That's Simon Stebbings, assistant coach for Glenorchy on City Park Radio. We'll take a short break and back in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Chef Fleur, the new owner of the Windermere Cafe. Come and join us for some good old-fashioned service with a smile and delicious home-style cooking. Our garden is lovely and dog-friendly. Free parking is available. Wednesdays we offer a $12.50 lunch special of roast pork and crackling, and every Saturday we have Devonshire teas. We still have our Sunday roast and our famous sausage rolls. We are open Tuesday to Sunday 9 till 3. Call us on 63281303 to make a booking. See you soon. Windermere Cafe, a sponsor of City Park Radio.
Okay, it's none for 43 after 5 overs. Omani to bowl his 3rd over. We'll get some analysis from Andrew Fitz in just a moment as Eastoe plays this one down through third man. And we'll just get a single. And there's Manpreet Singh 25, and he's just been a bundle of energy and hit some fantastic shots.
He's got, like his coach just said there, his assistant coach just said then, fast hands.
Yep.
Really fast hands. Like I said, very, very Rohit Sharma, like the way he hits the ball. Hits it on the up and just really flashes at it. Hits it hard. If you're going to catch it, it's going to take some catching.
It's all duck or no dinner.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no doubt about that. And they've blown this total open. They only need another 76 now. Plenty of overs remaining as Omani bowls to Singh and he hits this one through. They might have got a hand to that one. Take a bit of pace off it. So you'll just get the 2 as it goes out to backward point. So 2 runs there to Manpreet Singh. Moves up to 25. And it's 27, I beg your pardon, and it's none for 46. Sam Omani, none for 13, which is reasonably respectable in its 3rd over so far. Most of the runs have come from the other end so far. Omani, well, that's a bouncer. Is it a no ball? No. So just underneath head height, Manpreet Singh looks towards square leg. But not a bad delivery there from Sam Omani.
Going to bowl it, got to get it up high. It's a good bouncer.
And the only way they can work their way back in the game now is to take 2 or 3 quick wickets.
Yep.
Eastoe, 16 off 13. Manpreet Singh, 27 off 20. And plenty of boundaries so far. This is another bouncer. He's hit this one. It's going down towards deep backward square leg. It'll go out towards the boundary. And it's another 4 to Manpreet Singh.
It's poor bowling. He got away with the first one, and then he bowled the second one. Can't work that out. And and they've called it an no ball because it's above head height, 2 above head height. It's Not very good ball on that.
Yep, you're dead right there, Fitzy. So that's going to be a free hit. None for 51. And I think Dickie Gow will be real impressed with what's going on here at the moment. Omani to Manpreet Singh. This one's down leg side. It's not taken by the keeper. It's a wide, and it's 4 runs as well. So there's heaps of runs on there. There's 5 runs. And I think
free hit still stands.
As the square leg umpire just suggests that. Still a free hit.
Took off a little bit that last one.
Yeah, the keeper was surprised there, young Elliston Buckley. So 56 is the score. And we're only in the 6th over. Only 54 more required. Manpreet Singh hits this one down the ground. He should be caught at mid-off. He is. But of course it's a free hit. So he's not out. And they get a single. So the ball was taken there by Cooper Anthes. So the field changes over now for the left-hander. A bit of sting gone out of this game. There's no hurry now for the Glenorchy batsman, as it's mistimed there. They've come through for a single. It's well run there by Manpreet Singh. There's a full ball on off stump. He tried to hammer it through the covers on the bottom edge, and straight away Manpreet Singh called him through for a single.
Yep.
Smart running.
Yeah, it was, and that's the difference between the two sides. You've got some very, very good bowling from the Glenorchy boys, and unfortunately the Riders boys inexperienced to know, so yeah, they're bowling a little bit of, trash.
And this time it's a slower ball, and it's down leg side for a wide. It's the slow leg spinner.
At least he was trying something then, something a little bit different, but it didn't quite come out right.
None for 59. So the scoreboard, I think on our stream there, is a little bit behind. The flurry of runs is over. This one's a bit fuller. It's a good ball. With the pace off it, Manpreet Singh just plays it down the mid-off. That's the end of the 6th over. And it's none for 59. We've got Manpreet Singh on 32, Charlie Eastoe on 17. So we're interested to see what the tactics are now. We've got the power play over after the 6 overs. Looks like Oliver Wood will be coming to the attack. He bowled pretty well yesterday. Number 14, Oliver Wood.
Yep. Well, they might try to spinner.
Yeah, probably nothing to lose at this stage.
Try and change it up a little bit.
Just repeating earlier in the day, the Raiders made 6 for 110, with Williams making 43 and Cooper Anthes 30 standouts there. Handy contributions from Elliston Buckley with 14 not out, and Oliver Wood with 13. Major wicket takers, 2 for 19 from Moody, and 2 for 24 from Umair Butt. Okay, so desperately needing wickets, goes without saying, do the Raiders. The target now is just 51 runs with 14 overs remaining. So just taking a while to set his field here. There's the 4 players out that I can see. Wood bowls to Eastoe, just lets it go, gets a bit of a sighter. It's as if he almost lost that then, indicating. Didn't seem to pick it up very well. If we look here at the...
I think he wanted it wide.
Yeah, I think you might be right there.
Wide.
So Oliver Wood starts with a dot ball. There's much more of that and more. They're going to get their way back into this game. Cloud cover once again here at TAS Stadium. The southeasterly breeze is this time nicely played by Eastoe down a third man. It's a neat late cut. Moves up to 18. Does Eastoe. Manpreet Singh 32 off 23. He's been the man. Some of those blazing cut shots. Been a pleasure to watch.
Yeah, he's been superb, especially through the offside. He's some beautiful Well, I suppose they're more back foot cover drives, weren't they? Geez, they absolutely smashed them.
There's Oliver Wood now to Manpreet Singh. And, takes no chances with this one, just plays it into the covers. And as we mentioned there, Fitzy, chasing those low totals, oftentimes the tactic is to go out and attack and just break the target open and put no pressure on the remaining batsmen.
That's right. You get off to a decent start like they have, it just takes all the pressure off and they can just cruise home now. Raiders boys need to take a real glut of wickets, like 3 or 4 in 2 overs, just to get themselves back in the game.
As in comes Oliver Wood, this time to Manpreet Singh, who hits this down through mid-off. There's no sweeper at deep mid-off, so that'll go down to the boundary, and another boundary for Manpreet Singh. Takes the score up to 64. So just stand and deliver, backed himself. And it's another boundary. I'm just looking at how many boundaries now that he's hit Manpreet Singh. Yeah, that's his 4th boundary.
There's a lot of Rohit Sharma about that again. He's just very, very similar actually the way they play.
This time he goes back and pulls it, doesn't get the timing on it, can't get a run. And it's fielded there by Jake Dixon.
Now I might have held up a little bit in the pitch there, a little bit slow.
Run for 64, 1 ball remaining in the 7th over. Not a bad over here from Wood. 5 off so far. .36 off 26, Manpreet Singh, as he's on strike now to Oliver Wood. He just plays it back to the bowler for no run. 7 overs gone, run rate up above 9. It's none for 64. A tidy over, he got hit down the ground, but not a bad first up effort from Oliver Wood.
You prefer he gets hit down the ground than square of the wicket means it wasn't a bad ball, it was just a good shot. So you can set a field to that, but especially in 2020 over, 2020 cricket, you've basically got to protect the leg side boundary, so if you hit straight, well, good luck to you.
And as you requested, I think we're going to see some spin. And young Cooper Anthys, of course, Brandon King, the off spinner, not in today. And Cooper Anthys, who was so impressive earlier today with the bat. Still got that shirt out, Fitzy, much to your chagrin.
Old school, mate.
So he's bowl around the wicket to Eastoe, who's gone about his business in great efficiency as Charlie Eastoe. He's 18 off 16. Manpreet Singh 36 off 27. There's the first lead from Anthys. It's a bit short. Flicked around the corner. Jake Williams, who did the fielding on the deep square leg boundary. And a run there to Charlie Eastoe. Great throw from Williams. So after a pretty impressive effort against the top of the ladder Clarence yesterday, Raiders just haven't quite got it together today. Especially in the field, which has been their strength in the last few weeks in this competition. So Anthys is going to change his attack now to over the wicket to the right-hander. He's got no deep mid-off. That might be an area that Manpreet Singh might target. Instead, he just hits it down the onside. It's either flat bat defence or it's flat-out attack with Manpreet Singh. There's no sort of in-between. What will he do this time? As Anthys bowls, he pulls it. There is a man out there. It's gone straight through him.
Dear.
Quite get down to that one. That was, I think that might have been James Jennings out there. I won't, I think it is James Jennings, number 19. He just didn't quite bend enough there to pick the ball up. It was really, at this level, a straightforward piece of fielding.
Very straightforward. He just ran straight over the top of it. He attacked the ball, which is good, but you've got to get down to it as well.
Next ball from Anthys. Manpreet Singh through the point region. He's looking out towards the boundary. Williams in pursuit. He's quick, but he won't be quick enough. That crosses the boundary now. Back-to-back boundaries for Manpreet Singh. He's up to 44. The score is none for 73. And this game is coming to a very fast conclusion the way it's going. Andrew Fitz.
Yes, it's unfortunately the young fellas are getting a bit of a lesson here on how to play 2020 cricket.
Just an explosive performance here from Manpreet Singh. Anthony's around the wicket. It's a better ball, and it's bowled him. Straight through him. So it might have been between bat and pad. We'll have a look at the replay here, but nice little bit of bowling there from Cooper Anthony's with the angle round the wicket. Just got it to straighten nice. In fact, that turned a little bit and picked the gap between bat and pad. And a fine innings, though, from Manpreet Singh comes to an end. And he's certainly set up what should be a comfortable win here for the Glenorchy Cricket Club. And 44 off 31 deliveries. So well done to Manpreet Singh. What more can we say, Fitzy? It's that attacking innings that can break apart a game like this.
Excellent knock, but a very ordinary shot to get out. He was just lazy, wasn't he? He didn't try to do anything. He didn't move his feet. He just sort of stood there and waved the bat at it and just bowled him. But he was tremendous. Some of the shots off the back foot through the covers and that were a joy to watch.
As he comes off in front of us here down the race, a new batsman, I think might be one of the bowls there, Umair Butt, number 14. And good reward there for Cooper Anthony's 30 runs and now a wicket. Just look at like it turned a little bit there, Fitzy, just with the angle. He got it to pitch about off stump and then straighten. Yeah. This one is outside off stump, keeps it a little bit low. Bit of exclamation sounds there from the Raiders fieldsman. But that's the end of the over. Anthony's 1 over, 1 for 9. 8 overs gone, 1 for 73. 37 required.
The test match, New Zealand all out for 251.
Oh, now. Well, surely they won't do the follow-on.
No, definitely not. They'll bat again.
I think they bowled almost 100 overs there, so you'd be very surprised if they'd go again. Earlier today, there were wins for Kingborough over University by 8 wickets, 2 for 166. Defeated Uni 3 for 165, so only 5 wickets falling there for 320 runs in the day. And Lindisfarne defeated South Hobart Zanny Bay by 5 wickets. Oliver Wood into his second over, into Charlie Eastoe. And Eastoe hits that one down to third man. Ball that bounced a little bit outside off stump. But he guided it comfortably down to third man for a single. So Oliver Wood getting a little bit of bounce there. 1 for 75. Eastoe up to 20. There's the next ball from Wood. It's played onto the onside, and there's no run.
Just afford to play himself in here, take an over or two just to get the pace of the wicket and just get a nice little 20-odd knot out.
So I know the stream score he has Eastoe on 30, but I'm pretty sure he's on the 20 if things add up correctly to me. Oliver Wood this time to Umair Butt. He just plays it down the onside. Interesting field, Fitzy, so they obviously know they have to take wickets, so there's not too many out for the new batsman.
No, and they've got a gully in too, which is good, so they're giving Ollie a little bit of protection on the cut, so he can afford to bowl a little bit shorter now outside the off stump. Hopefully get a flash to the gully or to the point.
Oliver Wood stutters, then gets into his run-up, right arm over. Umair Butt into the covers, hits it forcefully. Good fielding there from James Beattie. It's a tight over so far. Just the 1 run off 4 balls. So this is probably the sort of tight bowling they needed at the outset of the innings.
Yep.
Wood now to Umair Butt. Who drives down the mid-on. They go with a single. Chance here for Dixon. Throws, but I think he was safely home. Well judged single as it turned out from Umair Butt. Gets off the mark. 1 for 75. 1 ball left in the 9th over.
Yeah, it was well run. A little bit deeper on the mid-on there, so yeah, quite a comfortable single in the end.
Oliver Wood now to Easto. He's on 20 at the moment. He hits down through mid-on. That's a nice shot. Picks the gap there between mid-wicket and mid-on. They turn for 2. They'll contemplate 3. They're going to go. And they'll make it as well. So that's good running there for Mumia Butt and Charlie Easto. 3 runs to Easto. Goes up to 23. It's 1 for 78.
A little bit of a class shot through wide mid-wicket there off the pads. Just use the wrists and just punch it through that nice little gap there.
Yeah, he's a very stylish batsman, very accomplished, good technique. He's been untroubled so far. So Cooper Anthony's, I wouldn't be surprised if he bowls out his 4 overs. He's the wicket taker. Hit for a couple of boundaries in that first over, but then tightened up and took that very important wicket of Manpreet Singh. So 1 for 78, slightly different score on the stream I noticed, but we'll stick with the scoreboard here at UTAS Stadium.
Easto cannot believe there's no one out on the mid-wicket boundary. Watch the Stocks we come out here.
Yeah, he's going to have to bowl tightly here, young Anthys. Well, he bowls a pretty good line, but he gets it straight through the covers. He leant back on that slightly short ball, and that's a classy shot for 4. He moves up to 27, score up to 82. Just sweated down that short one. Gee, timed it well.
Yeah,
placed it beautifully.
Yep, absolutely. And as soon as you get it through past the 30-metre circle, if you hit it well enough, it's 4 on this ground.
East up to 27, 1 for 82. This is the 10th over. Flights this one a little bit. Not a bad ball there from Anthys as he tried to get through that mid-wicket area that you identified, Fitzy, but spun away from him a little bit.
Nice flight. Nicely thrown up. Yep, beautiful flight that.
Well taken by Elliston Buckley. Next ball to Easto. Flight it again. Same result. This time he tried to hit through the offside. So he's getting a little bit of turn here. He's flying the ball well. Good variety. 1 for 13 to Cooper Anthys. Next ball, flight it again. Hit down a mid-on. Can't get a run. Sharp fielding there by Oliver Wood. So a little bit of voice out there now. It's, some good bowling here. The only spin option I think today is Cooper Anthys. Brandon King's absence. Flights again. This one's hit through mid-wicket. Well hit by Charlie Easto. And as Andrew Fitz said, once it gets through that infield, it looks like it's going to be 4, and it is. Crosses now. So another 4 to Easto, up to 31 off 24. It's a fine knock. And it's 1 for 86.
Yeah, he's unlucky. He beat him 3 times in a row then, and then unfortunately had a bit of a switch across the line and managed to half middle it and went for 4.
So target now down to 24 runs. As it's hit powerfully down the ground for a single. Oh, sorry, not for a single, for a dot ball. And that's the end of the over from Cooper Anthys. After 10 overs here at UTAS Stadium, it's 1 for 86. Back in a moment.
If you need help with machinery and transport, why don't you give Ken a call at TAS Star Transport? It's like a one-stop shop. Container transport and sales, side loader services, machinery transport, moving of transportable buildings, airbag lifting system, pilot vehicle services, boat transport, local and interstate. Tilt trays in all sizes and secure storage facilities available. TAS Star Transport will arrange everything. Leave it to the experts. Phone Ken on 0428 528 069. A sponsor of City Park Radio.
UTAS Stadium, it's Dave Moore and Andrew Fitz in the last couple of overs probably of this game. The last few overs, as it's 1 for 86, chasing 111. As the first ball was hit through the colours beautifully. Great shot. Ben Spinks. Still not a bad ball, just outside off stump. They're going to get 3 for this one, as it's powerfully hit through the cover point region by Umair Butt. So that's 1 for 89. Umair Butt goes up to 4. It was smart running there once again.
It's that's a class shot on his toes, just punched it through the covers. And it just goes to show that this pitch is playing very, very well. You can't play shots like that if the pitch is holding or anything like that. And he's just basically used the pace of the ball and leant on it and just gone bang through the covers.
Ben Spinks from the Mowbray Cricket Club. Tall figure as he comes in now to bowl to Easto, who swings at this one. It might have been off the pad or a bottom edge. It's going to go down towards the boundary. There's no fine leg. Player from third man tries to get there and probably does. That's a pretty good effort down there. I'll try and identify who that is. It might be Cooper Anthony's down there. And stops the... In fact, it was leg byes. My first thought there. It's off the pads. 2 runs nevertheless. 1-4-91.
One thing about the young blokes, they're going to keep trying right till the end.
Easto 31 off 36. Wood now to Easto. That's a nice ball. Sorry, not Wood. It was Spinks to Easto. Nice ball. Hit to the covers to Jake Williams. Nice lines there. So, attacking fields now. And skipper Miles Barnard realises that no point having 4 or 5 on the boundary.
Yeah, it's good captaincy too. Yep. Make them hit through the gaps.
Yep. Not going to be able to restrict them from here with only 19 required. In the 11th over. A bit of a skip. Now Ben Spinks from Invermay Park end. Easto, he was always going to do that. He swivelled and hit it through mid-wicket for 4. He summed up the line pretty quickly. Retreated a little bit in the crease. We watch on the replay there, and then bang, through mid-wicket. Powerful shot. And he's in good form this afternoon. Moves to 35, and it's 1 for 95. Target now down to just 16 runs.
They left the shot open for him, and that's there's nothing wrong with that. And he had to hit across the line, so at least they're trying something. You know what I mean? They're bowling to a packed offside field. He bowled a foot outside off stump, cleared the leg, and whacked it over mid-wicket. So that's just good batting.
Ben Spinks, 1 for 7 in his first over. Hear the tap of the bat on the ground there from Easto. As Spinks bowls to Easto. This time he tries to hit through the covers straight to Williams. Fields well. Throw wasn't great. The gasp there from Andrew Fitz. No damage done as it was backed up. 1 for 95, 1 ball left in the 11th over. Charlie Easto 35, Umu Butt is on 4. So it's been a pleasure to bring you these games here this weekend. And hopefully this double header for the Raiders will happen year upon year. It's great for them to get this experience on this fantastic arena. Spinks to Easto. Plays into the covers. Can't get it through. And it's fielded there by James Beattie. End of the over. 11 overs gone, 1 for 95. And you expect young Cooper Anthony's maybe to bowl his 4 overs. He's been pretty impressive so far.
Yeah, he's bowled well.
Yep.
Bowled very well.
Bit of turn.
I like his flight. He's got nice flight. He's got nice variation. He's just on a hiding to nothing really, because basically the batsmen know that they can just wait for a half bad ball. All the fielders are up, so
and he's got no protection either.
He's got no protection.
Yeah, so that's the way it's going to be. So he's trying to. I think for the Raiders now, the objective with trying just to get just a couple more wickets, and it's unrealistic now to try and win the game, but winning by 5 or 6 wickets is different to winning by 9 wickets, as they say.
It's better in the paper.
Yep, that's right. Anthony's this time, and this one's short and hit by Umair Butt over mid-wicket. There is one player out there, but he won't get there, and Umair Butt takes full toll of that. Slightly short delivery there from Cooper Anthony's, and the score goes up to 99. We've now just got the 12 required. Umair Butt up to 8. Young Anthony's a little bit despondent, but he's got very little protection in the outfield. This time Butt goes over cover. Another nice shot. And this might not quite get there. Jake Williams might just retrieve it. He does, or he scoops it up.
That's fault.
I think he scooped it over. They're going to try and claim it, but I'm not sure about that. Looks like they've got it. I'm not sure about the second one. I think Jake Williams got it, but the second one was a little bit close.
I reckon they're going to give it 4, aren't they?
They are.
Right.
Might be able to see that on the stream, of course, because we've got a static camera, but it's given us 3. 1 for 102. We'll be about onto 11. And the game's coming to a pretty quick ending here. 5 minutes to 5 here in Launceston. Anthony's this time to Easto, who goes over, doesn't quite get full purchase, but he does get over mid-on, and he'll get himself a couple of runs to move up to 37. Hit that one high. Probably a bit, wasn't quite a short enough for that shot, but either way, he's seeing the ball. Anthony's again to Easto. This one's a pull shot, so we'll make it out to the boundary. 1, 2 bounces, now it rolls into the boundary and takes Charlie Easto up to 41 and 1 for 108.
I guess the thing with having no fielders out, you've only got to hit 30 metres and you're safe.
That's right.
It's a 30-metre circle. Once it gets over the top, there's no one else out, so it's not a big hit, 30 metres.
3 runs required. Stay with us on City Park Radio. Got some great programs coming up. Reeling in the years this evening. Rock show, etc.
That was last night.
Oh, it was last night. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, it's Sunday, isn't it? What's coming up next, Chris?
Offbeat.
Offbeat, that's right. I don't even know what day it is. That's what happens on your holidays, Fitzy. You forget what day it is. So it's Offbeat coming up next, of course.
You teachers, fair dinkum.
No good, no good. There's Cooper Anthony's 1 for 108, last ball of the over. Is this the end of the game? Yes, it is, as Easto hits it through mid-wicket. It should get out to the boundary, and if it doesn't, they'll get 3 anyway. It crosses the boundary now, and that's an impressive victory to the Glenorchy Magpies here at UTAS Stadium. 1 for 111 off 12 overs, and Charlie Easto ends up on 45 and top score for the game. In fact, I think you'll find, for the game, Charlie Easto just getting past there, Manpreet Singh. So with the field up, it come to a quick conclusion, Fitzy?
Yeah, it was always going to. Like I said, you've only going to hit 30 metres if the field's up, so and once it gets over the top, it's always going to go for 4, and this is our field system magnificent. So the young blokes tried hard. They're outclassed by a much better side, but they're only young. They're going to learn from these games. I think it's an excellent concept, to be perfectly honest. I think these kids are only going to improve by playing against really good opposition like this.
I mean, we thought 110 was competitive, but it's just the fact that Manpreet Singh, Charlie Easto came out with positive intent, and once you make big inroads into a small total, that's the end of the game, really, isn't it?
Pretty much, yep.
Yep. So that's the tactics, and well done, well executed to the Glenorchy Knights. They've won here by 9 wickets. Good bowling effort today. Of course, we talked about David Moody, 2 for 19, Uma about 2 for 24. And Farzan Raja 1 for 24. And that was the consistency across the 4 bowlers. Fitzy, if you look at that, runs conceded in their 4 overs, 19, 19, 24, 24, 24. So there was no respite really for the Raiders batsmen.
Absolutely not, no.
And as far as the batsmen are concerned, for the Raiders, Jake Williams made 43, Cooper Anthony's made 30, Ellison Buckley 14. Was a nice knock, as well as Oliver Wood 13. So well done, Charlie Easto. Manpreet Singh took the game away, and a little bit of a cameo there from Umair Butt as well. And that's the end of the game here at UTAS Stadium. Fitzy, it's been a pleasure to have you along. It's been a good day, and good to see some young cricketers forging their way.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks for having me, mate.
No worries, and all the best of luck with Trevelyan for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
how are you looking?
Well, yeah, not real good. We've only won 2 games, but it is what it is. We've just got to try and get through the end of the year, and hopefully next year we can recruit a couple of players and get ourselves back up to where we should be. No worries. Thanks for your contributions once again to City Park Radio. Next season we'll have you back again. No dramas, mate. I appreciate it. No worries. Thank you. Thanks to Cricket Tasmania, Eamon Doherty, who's been organising the stream here. Thanks to our special guests today, Simon Stebbings and Andrew Gower, from the coaching panels of the 2 teams involved. And thanks to Chris Ball back in the studio, of course, for his production of the 2 broadcasts this weekend. It's been a pleasure to bring you Cricket Tasmania Premier League cricket once again here on City Park Radio. That's it, probably until the footy season. As far as sport's concerned, I should mention that we have got the Carrick Park Cup coming up in February, so look out for that one as well. City Park Radio Sport brings you all the local sport here in the winter and the summer. Nearly 5 o'clock, so it's time for me to say goodbye. And it's been a great day here, great couple of days at UTAS Stadium. And thank you for listening in, and thank you for watching on the stream. The result here today was the Raiders 6 for 110. They were defeated by Glenorchy
who scored 1 for 112. Bye for now from UTAS Stadium.
Don't miss Tasmania.